So like right now you can hear me, right? You can hear me now? I'm just messing with the mute button on myself, so. When I go over to do the sideline hits, you control it since I have to step away, obviously. But when I'm just here on the sidelines and I'm just doing like a mic hit, I'll be on top whether I'm muted or not. Great. Looks like they need a little bit more time, but Nick's coming around now. Ara, aka T-Rex, are you ready or what? We're gonna get him going again.
we welcome you courtside back here in San Bernardino, California at the Pierce Sports Center here in the Inland Empire, where we have our third match of 4 today on day 2 of the NVA's opening weekend of the 2022 season. And it's a season debut for a new-look Chicago Untouchables as they take on the Los Angeles Blaze. And this right here is a National Central matchup. These teams will play quite a bit throughout the year, but for the Untouchables, a chance for some new pieces to emerge as a number of players that were on last year's roster have moved on. And meanwhile, for the LA Blaze, who lost yesterday, a chance for some redemption.
Certainly is, and before we get into that too much, we got a little sideline story. Noah, take it away.
Yeah, we're here with the Blazers head coach, and yesterday you guys played well, but played a very, very tough team. How do you expect to rebound today?
Lo que está preguntando es que jugamos uno de los equipos más fuertes de la liga y qué planes tienes para este juego.
Ok, sí, ayer fue un gran equipo, o sea, una derrota en 3 sets, pero realmente nuestro equipo no jugó tan mal. Nada, simplemente ese juego ya pasó y hoy esperamos un partido diferente, con nuevas energías y tengo el personal bastante completo.
Yeah, well, he's saying that he is aware that we play one of the toughest teams in the league, but now it's like a delete in that past game yesterday. So now he has a new game plan, and he believes in our team and the new game plan that he has for this match.
And so not to give away too much, but what is that new game plan?
Él quiere saber cuál sería tu plan de juego para hoy.
Nada, hoy comenzaremos con el colocador Jesús, que eso es básicamente en la línea de cambiar la estrategia y nada, lo demás lo verás en la cancha.
So he's not going to share a lot. He's going to say that we're going to start up with the other setter, Jesus Chuy. That last year he was in Matadores and now he's in the Mexican national team. So that's part of our new game plan.
Thank you both. Gracias. Our first bilingual translated silent interview of the season. Guys?
Thanks, Noah. That's actually, a new first here in the NVA. It's almost like the USC where we have our translator in the ring with us. And there you hear from the LA Blaze. They were defeated yesterday. The Untouchables have had some travel difficulties, as did a few of our East Coast teams. That's a shame that we're not going to have a full Chicago team with us today, but they have some weapons to look at today. And we'll talk about that throughout the match, but I want to get your opening thoughts on what we expect today.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I think we saw yesterday LA Blaze coming out and doing a lot of good things, but trying to find a way to put that all together all at once is going to be their challenge for sure. On the side of Chicago Untouchables, it's going to be interesting to see what lineup comes out. I know we're going to see pieces like Will Ragland returning from last year, number 13, someone that was known early on in the season as an ace leader and definitely someone that runs one of the best pipe attacks in the league, so expect to see an abundance of that. They picked up middle Zakir Pasha from Texas Tyrants and a variety of other key pieces, so it'll be interesting to see how they all mesh and make that all work as one.
Well, we had a chance to hear from LA. Now let's hear from the Chicago sideline.
Here with Chicago GM Andrew Lee. Andrew, I heard you guys had some travel issues. You don't have really a complete roster. Is that true?
Yeah, we had a lot of flight delays, a lot of cancellations, so a lot of roster adjustments at the last second.
And I know your guys are on the New Jersey Freedom now compared to last year. What are you expecting to see from this current group that's here today?
Well, we've been training a lot, so I expect a lot of passion. It's a little inexperienced, but I think they make up with it with physicality. And I think a lot of practice. We have a great coach. His name's Alex. And in Chicago, they've been practicing a lot on out of system and all the basics. So I think we're going to do really well.
And you match and manage that talent.
Yeah, I see there's a lot of high flyers, a lot of bangers, but we're going to try to serve very tough, very consistently, get them out of system, and then just let our defense do the work with that.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Let the defense do the work. That's the game plan. We'll see how it plays out. Nick, Ira?
Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that report. It's nice to be able to speak to both coaching staffs, even with or without a translator prior to the start of our matches today. Those travel difficulties, it's nothing new. It's part of pro sports when you don't have chartered flights, of course. So for Chicago today, how do they respond? And I would believe it would be Ragland is the one that you really have to focus on his serve to try to set LA back on its heels. A year ago, Ragland was 5th in the NVA. in the best server statistical category. So he's certainly going to be a force. But when you look down the Chicago roster, a player that you certainly need to keep an eye on is Daniel Paraskev out of Arcadia University, but he is a high Russian product, 6'6", right side. Austin Neese out of Purdue Fort Wayne, another Division I program. Two pieces offensively that, in addition to Ragland, certainly may be part of the Chicago focus today.
Yeah, and the name also not mentioned there is Kamil Garbowski. He is one of the middles when they were making sure that they had a squad out here. He was definitely one of the guys that they were unwilling to do without this weekend. Camille's had a wealth of experience internationally and is just a well-rounded guy and someone that if you get him in the middle of the court, he's really going to help dictate the pace of the game and the speed at which it is played. So I'm very excited to see his contributions. Look for him in the number 30 jersey, and we'll see what kind of contributions he makes with this team.
Meanwhile, for the LA Blaze, again, losing yesterday in their opener to the Texas Tyrants. I think everybody believes Texas Tyrants in the National Central Division are probably going to run away with the division if they're arguably the best team in the entire NVA right now. And certainly demonstrated yesterday that there's an argument to be made there that they are going to be a championship contender. So that second place team, that team that is going to be in contention for one of the wild card spots when we complete a regular season in 4 months. Hopefully one of these two teams will be in that conversation. They will get a chance today to meet for the first time. For the LA Blaze, what did you see yesterday? Rafa Cruz obviously had a good day. Charles Belvin certainly needs to be more of the focus. But your thoughts on what you saw from the Blaze on opening day yesterday?
You know, we saw a lot of things go great while simultaneously not just seeing them all consistently. We saw moments of brilliance in the middle. We saw number one, Carlos Negron was having a lot of success as a blocking option. At times, you can't rely on blocking to be the key part of your defensive structure. We saw some pretty solid passing from their libero, number 18, Nicolas Dennis, as well as number 6, Hernandez on the outside. So it's been a bit of a revolving door. Rafa Cruz, number 10, proved to be consistent, but the team was kind of trying to find that right lineup. And so, you know, I think that there are players that can get it done for the LA Blaze side. I'm curious to see what they've decided is the right lineup to start. Again, I really think Charles Belvin, number 17, needs to be on the court for this team. He's a big offensive executor, and we'll see what they decide to go with.
So as the teams take the court to begin our third of 4 matches today, of course, we have one more coming up at 6 p.m. when it'll be the newly rebranded Inland Empire Matadors taking on Southern Exposure, who lost to Nick England and the Las Vegas Ramblers yesterday in a reverse sweep, so they will certainly be coming out here today motivated.
As always, we want to say a huge thank you to all of our fans tuning in from all over the world. If you're in YouTube, be sure to tell us what you think about the match in the chat. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're not watching from YouTube, you might be checking us out on NVAUSA.com, as well as our app that can be found on the App Store. If you're feeling like you need to pick up some team gear after being inspired from some of the high-quality play you're about to see, be sure to go check out NVAUSA.shop, where you can get team gear from every team you've seen this weekend, representing the entire U.S. at large across 12 different teams. Lineups are now starting to come out. On the side of Blaze, no real surprises here, a lot of similar faces. We're seeing the only new face, it looks like, is going to be... Yep, Damani Lenore. Liz Dennis is retaining his spot as the libero. Hernandez on the outside. Joseph Cuevas is going to take that right side spot instead of Charles Belvin. Number 14, Serrano, has the hands to start the match today after a stint playing with the Mexican national team this summer. Rafael Cruz, number 10, is going to be starting as the other outside spot. So no real surprises there.
Meanwhile, for Chicago Untouchables, Moises Lopez, 6'1" setter out of Oaklawn, Illinois, wears number 2. Zakir Pasha is a 6'4" middle, wearing number 3. Ben Cartwright has the libero duties, wearing number 8. Will Ragland, one of the outsides, undersized at 6'1", wearing number 13. Redick Raja is another outside out of Chicago, Illinois, wearing number 22. Kamil Garbowski, one of the middles, at 6'6", wearing number 30. And the right side, Danil Perskevov out of Russia. As we are underway, and we immediately start with a kill from Carlos Negron. So here is Jesus Serrano to serve. The back row Raglan with the tip and a little miscommunication as it fell in between Negron and Cuevas.
We talked about that before the match. Expect to see a lot of pipe attacks focused around Will Raglan, and they waste no time finding there in the middle. Tip over the top is effective, and a point is a point.
So here's Braddock Braja.
3-meter line infraction, so Will Ragland is over. That'll be a point for the Blaze.
Did he even pull out the green card? They didn't even challenge it.
No, it was a down ref call from Pat Bradley, our R2 for the day.
The referees overruled themselves. So 2-0 Blaze, and it's now an official side out for Chicago as Zachar Pasha gets the result.
We talked about it earlier. Pasha was the third middle behind Lovett Mountie for Texas Tyrants last year. He had moved to Texas to play with that team. Finds himself back in Chicago now, making a start here. Love to see a little transportation there.
Here's Braja to serve. On the right side, that is blocked back. Second look here for LA. They won Negron in the middle for the result.
Love to see the middle getting involved early. Negron at 6'5", battling it out, getting some huge swings there.
So they'll hand the ball to Eduardo Hernandez, 6 foot outside, out of Ponce, Puerto Rico. He's just 24 years old. They go to Raglan, and he sticks it through for the kill into the scorer's table.
You mentioned earlier maybe some of the lack of size in terms of physical prowess of Raglan, but he is a high flyer, and he's also an absolute spark plug. One of those players you make sure that he finds his way onto the court because he keeps the team morale very high.
So here's Pasha. The serve leaves it short. 3-2 LA Blaze on top early.
Also with an NVA first, Will Ragland is mic'd up for the first time ever. And so while this won't be live to the broadcast, be sure to check out our Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms, YouTube Shorts as well, as you're going to see some clips coming out from players all over the NVA as they're mic'd up during their matches.
Now, I would like to see it in match, but I think we have to, give people a chance to see if they got a potty mouth. We can't, it's a family show. We got to make sure everybody passed the purity test.
Absolutely. I won't go too much deeper to confirm or deny how wise I think that is, but it sounds like some pretty sage advice there, Ira.
So here is Negron serving away. Laying out for that one was the libero Ben Cartwright. Chicago, of course, having to scramble for what their roster is going to look like when they're dealing with the travel difficulties, and that uncertainty certainly has an impact on their game plan, who's going to be on the court. So what they likely practice back in their home gym may not be what they're executing out here, and they might be kind of feeling it as they go.
Certainly are, and the structure of this team is they're similar to the Las Vegas Ramblers in the sense that they have a lot of their team in Chicago, but they also have a Philadelphia-based portion of the team, so those two team segments are coming together to compete all the same. So certainly going to be interesting how those two teams combine, as well as overcome that travel adversity you just mentioned. Paraskevov now back to serve.
6'6" opposite. And smashing it through for the result, Rafa Cruz.
What an excellent swing there from Rafa, able to punch that through the double block of Moises Lopez and number 30, Kamil Garbowski.
So they'll hand the ball over to Cuevas. Newark, New Jersey product playing out here in LA. And that sets up a chance there in the middle for Garbowski. You talked about him being in the middle and being somebody that they need to run through. Certainly the middle presence in this match, maybe not as dynamic as we've seen some of our other matches. Say the work of Carlos Negron, probably the outlier, but he's had his blocks back. But Garbowski needs to be involved here for the Untouchables to really have an opportunity to score today. And did he get the touch? The officials say no, as Brija couldn't get it to fall.
Interesting swing. He sees the big block go up with him on the overpass, so he doesn't want to just swing for court, trying to find some high hands there. That's why you see him drop his elbow a little bit, swing high, and it kind of launches out the back of the court. What that swing really tells you is that he was looking for a touch on the way, missed it by a couple inches there, and Brija unable to come up with that transition point for Chicago Untouchables.
They go on the outside, and sticking it through the block again is Radek Brija. Brija is one of our younger players, just 22 years old, born in February 2000, out of King University in Tennessee. Now we have players in the league who are as old as 41 right now. So he's on our younger side, as coming through is Cuevas. So driving back to serve here is Damani Lenore, product of Cal State Northridge, Yorba Linda, California. And that's blocked down. Solo stuff for LA. Eduardo Hernandez.
Hernandez, formerly of the Dallas Tornadoes. We see both teams represented by one player formerly of the Texas duo. Great to see that early blocking presence for him.
And a quick 11-5 lead for the Blaze. Swinging again and missing wide is Brija, I should say. Run for the Blaze ends here. So side out for Chicago, Nick. They got some work to do. Not a good start at all from Chicago. Still got some air rust, I think it's fair to say. And that's left short as well. This is a Chicago team that's lost a lot of talent. Matt Buffum, Paul Bolanczyk, Ian Kapp, Jacob Milnazik, all have, Thomas Burrell, have all moved
Ryan
over.
Alou, the list goes on.
Yeah, have all moved over to Team Freedom. Team Freedom now known as New Jersey Freedom, because everything should be named after New Jersey. They go on the outside, big swing by Pereskov, and good defense by the Blaze. That is sent deep. That is chased down by LA and sent over, nearly blocked by Chicago. And just not enough touches there available as it will fall in. The libero, Nick Lisdenis, was able to get some hands on it, but LA was out of position.
Love to see that aggressive swing, though, in transition. Jesus Serrano, someone that not only sets a great offense, also a lot of capability to be a full-time hitter. So, you know, you see that kind of chaos ball go up, and he's able to get a full swing.
Right side attack, that's gonna fall in. Did it get a touch? It did not, it was all tape.
Bouncing it off the tape out of the back of the court. That's something that's pretty rarely seen. Chicago more than happy to take that point as they start to try and chip away at the 5-point deficit now, staring them in the eye.
Nice tight net, apparently. As here's Brija to serve, leaves it short.
Interestingly enough, you mentioned some of the Freedom guys that had, or some of the Untouchables players that moved to Freedom. Alternatively, second libero Jordan Robinson, as well as middle Mikel Hoyt, a.k.a. Zebra, have transitioned over to Chicago Untouchables. So a couple of player acquisitions going on there between both teams.
Jordan Robbins, somebody that I know personally well. He works as the head women's volleyball coach. As that is pounded by Ragland down the line. Will Ragland give that boy a mic?
I like to take pride in the fact that sometimes we know where we should have the right equipment on the court allocated, and I think that's one of my. I can't wait to see later on what that clip might yield.
I am giddy to hear what comes out of his mouth. From the back row, that's going to be a result. A kill for Hernandez as the Blaze extend the lead to 15-9. Finish the previous thought, Jordan Robinson has just finished his first year as the new women's volleyball head coach at New Jersey City University in New Jersey. So he and I were talking before the game about recruiting strategy. And also how to deal with, players who don't choose to go to class as much as others. It's always a fun topic. Serve is left short.
That missed serve is going to put Parashkov. That's a tricky one.
Yeah, we're going to need him to translate. But I believe it's Ivov. And that is left a short. And Chicago has now scored 2 in a row.
I got a note on Parashkov. Well, actually, he's from my area. I know him. I just don't know his last name. I never knew, but.
Chicago trying to draw closer. That is too long. We have reached our first tactical timeout in game 1, 16-11. The LA Blaze with the commanding lead. We'll take a break, come back for more here at the Pierce Sports Center.
OSIM.
Back here courtside, Ira Thor joined alongside Nick England. Let's send it over to the third member of our crew, Noah Chast, who almost dug somebody on this court once.
Yeah, that's right, Ira. Daniel Parashkov. He actually goes by Danny. He was part of the Bucks County Panther Volleyball Area Club, same club I was in. He's a few years older than me, and he played for my rival high school. And so he was a senior. I was a freshman. I was sitting on the line, and he bounced one, and it was just out. But I almost dug it, and I didn't make an error. So keep that on your minds when you see me out here on the court, that I can almost take some of these people.
That's as good of a take as we get. I love to hear it. You got to see me stumble through a match yesterday. We hang with the best of them. Now we just got to give the fans exactly what they want to see. A 1v1 short court, Matt Prosser, Ira Thor. Give the people what they want.
I have my stickers. Let's play, baby. But I don't know what's the better sideline hit so far today. That one or Noah's report from down official Tony Chan when he told Freedom head coach Justin Beaumont, that's the worst challenge I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you know what wasn't the worst was that big swing right there from Will Ragland, able to get a transition point, putting himself back on the service line, see if he's able to get a little bit of magic rolling for the Untouchables and see if they can bring back this 4-point deficit.
Well, Ragland averaged .38 aces per set last year. That one is stuck to the floor. Rafa Cruz.
A lot of consistency today for the LA Blaze that we weren't quite seeing yesterday. But if you're a Chicago fan, don't count it out just yet. I think we're seeing a lot of unforced errors that I wouldn't really say Chicago's being beat. They're kind of beating themselves. And, sometimes just that first match out on the court, a little bit of jitters to work out. So don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, they're certainly not going to be extinct after just one set. They have a lot more roar in them. Here is Garbowski leaving it short. 18-13, the Blaze. And they'll hand it back to Damani Lenore.
I missed noting that double sub being done that we saw yesterday, bringing Charles Belvin as well as number 13 Torres into the court, trying to keep things fresh over there, keep the setter back row for as long as possible.
Luis Carlos Ruiz Torres. In the middle, chance to run the Grand, blocked back by Chicago. And a free ball chance now for the Untouchables. Running dig and then a lunge, but it is, they get the kill. Credit the work there of Torres, who was able to get out of the way of Liz Dennis. Both got touches on the ball, and LA gets the point.
Now we see that double sub being undone. Blaze looking a lot more calm, cool, and collected than we saw yesterday, opposite of the name and what it might incite. But definitely a good adjustment for them, and maybe we just saw a little bit of nerves yesterday. But I think Serrano at the setter position here starting is definitely a key part of that team's confidence and success thus far.
I mean, nerves could be part of it. Quite frankly, I think they just lost to a better team yesterday.
Also very possible.
I think the Tyrants are just that good this year. Swinging away, that clipped the antenna, did Danny Bereshkovov. And the attack here hands it back to the Blaze.
We've talked about how good the Texas Tyrants are. I'm really curious to see how this match really finishes up. Still a couple key pieces coming back for both of these teams. While Texas Tyrants, we've kind of seen a finished product. So they looked fantastic yesterday. But I'm definitely curious to see the continued growth of the other two teams in this conference.
Untouchables get their highlight moment to start today as Pasha and Pereshkovov get the stuff. (20-15) for the serve, too long.
And just a quick note for the fans out there, we are experiencing some drop in our internet connection. So if you lose the stream at any time, know that we are working with it. We're aware of it. Hopefully nothing happens. But in the case that it does, we are well aware on our side, and we're making sure that we're going to be bringing you high-quality volleyball all day long.
Well, if you're able to hear us and see us, now entering the match, Stephen Rodder, number 866, outside and right side, who played at both Long Beach City College and Cal State Northridge. LA still on top. They go to the right side. That is dug up by Serrano. Blocked back. Second chance for the Blaze. And missing wide. Asking for the touch was Cuevas. Won't get it. And 21-16. The Untouchables still alive here in this first set, but they'll bring in Austin Neese, who we mentioned in pregame. 6'5" outside, who played his volleyball for the Mastodons, Purdue Fort Wayne. 24 years old, native of Naperville, Illinois. And the Grand can't find the court.
That one just gets right through. A lot of speed on that set. Gets just through his hitting window, and as a result, not able to keep it going in the direction he wants. Kind of slips through, and ball just wide. Neese looking to make another impactful serve here during this serving substitution.
And there's the response from the Grand. Missed badly. They went right back to him, and that's big for the confidence for the LA middle.
Sometimes I talk about the importance of that, what we call a setback there, and Serrano is someone that is all about instilling confidence in his hitters. And so after a missed connection with the middle last
here is Negron. Reach out and stuff someone. Lenore gets his name in lights.
Wow, that was a heck of a move. Goes one-on-one, pushes his right hand low all the way outside, reads the cutback, and gets a huge block. Well done by Lenore.
As he shut down Camille Garbowski, the 6'6" middle. LA trying to close out this first set. They go to Ragland. Waiting for that was Serrano. Roll shot, run down by the Chicago libero Cartwright. And then a touch for the Untouchables.
Breja out of the back row. Love to see the middle-centric offense from the Untouchables. Well run by Lopez.
It's 23-18. Grabowski to serve. Actually, I lied. It's Perishkov to serve. And another big result in the middle for Lenore, who looks to be a very serviceable middle too.
Yeah, he definitely, if I'm not mistaken, he was not here yesterday. Is that correct?
I did not see him.
So definitely was not their second middle option. Coming in and making an immediate impact. Love to see that, showing off the depth of this team that last year, I think it was a shock when Blaze didn't make an appearance in the championship weekend. So looking like they might be adding some of those pieces needed to make that happen once again.
I wonder if he also had flight difficulties yesterday. You know, LA to San Bernardino.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of traffic to get across the some of the freeways out here in California. So maybe a flight from LAX to Ontario would have been a better option for him.
Well, the ace for LA ends game number 1. A convincing win for the Blaze. They'll take a 2-0 lead in the match. When we come back, you're watching NVA volleyball here out at the Pierce Sports Center. Weekend number 1, day 2, more to come.
OSIM.
Welcome back here to the Pierce Sports Center And San Bernardino, California, Ira Thornton, Nick England. No Chas, the third member of our crew. Matt Proster's taking a nap back at the hotel, ready to join you for our fourth and final match at 6 p.m. Pacific. The Blaze lost yesterday to the Tyrants on opening day, 25-15, 26-24, 25-18. The Tyrants certainly showing why that they are going to be a formidable opponent this year. But the Blaze, with a strong first set, they passed at a 92% rate, which is part of the reason that they were in control from the beginning to the end, Nick.
It certainly is. You know, we look at the aces as well, or the error ratio. One ace has been earned on the side of the Blaze. We'll get back to that in 1 second.
As that is missed wide, Ragland had to lay out just to catch that serve reception off the tape.
To revisit that point really quick, we saw 6 service errors on the side of the LA Blaze with 1 ace, and no aces but 5 errors on the side of the Untouchables. So from the service line, the end result is virtually identical. So the passing is really where we're seeing a big difference right now between these two teams.
Ragland, much better pass for Chicago, and a one-on-one stuff for Los Angeles, Joseph Cuevas.
So Steven Rotter says he never had any knee thing and he feels great, and he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Stop spreading lies. This is not the Oscar. Shows nobody watches. They move to the right side. And a big dig for LA for Rafa Cruz. Ragland cannot connect. I think he realized that he actually had committed the 10-foot line violation and just stopped.
That would make sense. But that was interesting all the same. I'm not exactly sure what happened.
They go in the middle, and that's put away for Chicago by Pasha. Here's Moises Lopez.
Moises serves that one just long, unable to get that float serve to drop there, and seems like some of those serve problems may continue here for Chicago Untouchables. Now an opportunity for Hernandez to start Blaze right back on top and generating a lead through the service game.
I'll report what I was told.
Hernandez to serve. Swing down the line with authority. Austin Neese. Oh, talked about him in the pregame. I remember him from college. Would like to see him be more involved in the offense, and he's showing what he's capable of. First chance we've had to see Neese unload.
Yeah, he was out there to replace Brija after that first set. Now he brings the heat from the service line.
And sticking that one through the block. Cuevas with the answer. So a 5-2 lead for the Blaze early on. Chicago just hasn't been able to string together consecutive points here. And LA has a chance to separate themselves early here in game number 2. That is just wide. Good job by Pereshkivov to avoid being clipped.
Yeah, you never want to be the guy that gets hit by the ball going out of bounds. Happens more than you'd like to see, but certainly a total momentum killer. Glad Untouchables were able to avoid that one there.
Here's Pasha, who played at Grandview University. And putting that one away for another LA kill is Rafa Cruz.
Rafa was definitely one of the steady forces for the LA Blaze yesterday, so seeing him able to return to the court today and continue that exact same presence, it's great to see. Great kill from him down the line, and look for him to continue.
Third match of the day, Team Freedom, New Jersey Freedom, winning against the Seattle Sasquatch in game number 1. Match number 1 and 3, and over ball, just annihilation Damani Lenore.
Played his ball at Cal State Northridge. Absolutely hammered that one home. Well-earned point off of the back of some great serving pressure from Joseph Cuevas.
Team Freedom beat the Seattle Sasquatch in 3, and the Dallas Tornadoes in their season debut equally had quick work against one of our 2 new expansion teams as they took down the Colorado Kraken. Felix Chapman just looked sensational in that one for Dallas. Keep an eye on him this season. They go back to Lenore. LA couldn't finish it out there. Try to terminate it here. And it's going to be a back row attacker. They caught it right away. Big smile from our chair umpire in this one, Dennis Francisini, smiling, nodding.
Serrano tried to sneak that one over, but big props there to Will Ragland coming across the front of the net. One-handed layout and stops that ball from going under net, giving the Untouchables another opportunity to extend the rally.
And that is put away. Serrano, correction, Cuevas with the winner.
Talked a bit about my preference seeing Belvin in the starting lineup, but Joseph Cuevas, who was playing a lot of injured volleyball last year, spent some time rehabbing in the offseason and is really showcasing a much healthier arm swing and looking like he's adding a lot of power. Love to see that for him here.
From the back row, Nice free balled over here, and that is going to go just long. Good job avoiding that Ben Cartwright calling off the dogs.
Rafa Cruz looking to catch Chicago Untouchables all very shallow in the court. Tries to find that back corner, unable to do so off the back of a dig by Nicholas Dennis. Fantastic effort there, but Chicago Untouchables determined to close this 2-point lead down to nothing.
Here's Ragland, too long. Nearly takes out our line judge. So here is Damani Lenore. Again, he played some of his collegiate volleyball at Cal State Northridge. He is an athletic family. His uncle Tom Watkins played professionally in the NFL for the Detroit Lions. His cousin Todd Watkins played for the Oakland Raiders. Volleyball is his first love. As that one goes over to Chicago, they still trail by 2, 9-7. And here is Garbowski, Clifton, New Jersey native. The tip right into the waiting arms here of Lopez. Chicago can't run anything. Over on 2, sneaky, but Ragland waiting for him. And sent straight down by Pasha.
Will Ragland, with heroic defensive efforts, gets the first dig, then gets a pancake out of middle back. And if you know anything about the defensive expectations, that is anyone's ball except for his. But Ragland determined the heart and soul of that defensive effort on the Untouchables, really laying it all out here on the court.
Yeah, his defense underrated. We talk about his service game and what he brings offensively, but he's that one sails and takes out the first time today we've seen one of our backdrops get taken down. Mikasa.
Proud ball sponsor of the NVA, getting killed by its own making right there.
You know its balls are durable. Its signs,
also durable, just got to get it right
take
in.
a kicking or a licking and keep on ticking, I think is how it goes.
Little discussion right now, not too sure. I think they're discussing something related to liberos, given the fact of who's standing next to each other. While this gets resolved, quick state of the game check. It is currently 8-10. We are seeing Blaze up by just 2. I'd be curious exactly where we're at with how many serving errors there have been on the side of the Untouchables. My quick mind check says we're right around 4. And I think that that's what's going to be the number one thing that's preventing the Chicago Untouchables from getting back into this. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure to try to get the LA Blaze out of system, who was passing at such a high clip in the first set. But it will definitely be interesting to see if Chicago can right that ship. We see a yellow card being issued.
It's probably for a delay of game. So delay of game is the official call. That's the result of the yellow.
And the reasoning there is only one libero was designated at the beginning of the match. That's an error on the management side of the LA Blaze. Nicholas Dennis is the only eligible libero for the match.
Good high pass for the Untouchables. They go to Nice for the tip. Blaze run it down. That is too long. Miss-hit by Eduardo Hernandez. Got to give credit there. Nick Dennis gave him plenty of time to swing away. The libero with the nice high, precise bump pass.
And just a quick clarification, a yellow card is simply a warning. There is no impact to who controls the ball.
Unless you do it twice.
Or, yeah, unless you do it twice. But there's also no impact on the scoreboard. However, a red card, simple and some different implications there.
If you do it twice, you will get a red card, and that's when it does come back to bite you.
That is a point awarded to the other team. And if I'm not mistaken, the ball might change control. I could be wrong on that part. Don't see too many red cards. Although, I have to say, that was the first match I've ever played in my life yesterday that we saw a red card issued. So that was my first-hand experience with it. But we already had the ball, so I couldn't verify whether the ball exchanged hands.
I may or may not have received a couple red cards back in the day. Talking some garbage. As that is stuffed down. Combo stuffed by Negron and Joseph Cuevas. And LA works the lead back up to 3. It's 12-9.
That's a very something not frequently seen in the U.S. It's a much more European style when you see the two hands set over. It's a controlled attempt for a recycle, but the steady hands of the block there of the LA Blaze able to control it, corral that back into the court, and get a kill or getting a block there was quite effective.
Hernandez leaves it short. So we'll see Austin Nice serving. Big serve by Nice, going to come over on one for the ace.
Nice having a massive impact on this game after coming off the bench in set number 1. That's some service pressure right there that could really help chip away as we see the lead fall to just 1 for the LA Blaze.
Nice played his collegiate volleyball, as we said, at Purdue Fort Wayne from 2016 through 2019. And he lands back-to-back aces and just shrugs like this is normal.
Tied up at 12 apiece. Certainly a great spot now for Chicago Untouchables. They've done a good job of keeping that lead only to 2 or 3 with Blaze throughout this set after losing by 7 in the first, but now putting themselves in a good position to make a late game run.
And leaves that one short, but Nice was a quality player for the Mastodons. He graduated ranking 4th in program history in career reception percentage at .965 and was a multiple-time academic all-MIVA selection. Here is Negron. Oh, thunder!
My God!
Pereshkivov with the bomb.
Well, you just talked about the importance of Nice's abilities as a passer. He passes that serve perfectly, and my gosh,
Noah
that
Chast
sad.
is not digging that.
I could have almost dug it.
Could you dig that? Hernandez did, lays out to save the Blaze. Second chance here for Chicago. Ragland. And we talked about the Untouchables' inability to score consecutive points. Well, they're starting to turn the tables there, and they have taken a 14-13 lead.
The importance of a big play like that, getting a little bit of a spark plug going for the Untouchables. You could watch the move there in the middle with the block, followed up by Ragland's approach line. The guys got a little pep in their step right now.
Better pass for LA, and that allows Lenore to swing away, and he missed the court. That's a big error there for LA.
That's going to be back-to-back stops, one being blocked, not terminally, but stopped all the same, and now swinging out of bounds. Seems like we're seeing a pretty good effort from Chicago Untouchables in the middle.
Zakir Pasha continues serves. From the right side, they get hands on it. Laying out was Pereshkovov. Ragland with another kill. And Chicago has suddenly found themselves. And that takes us to a technical timeout here in game 2, 16-13. Untouchables lead LA Blaze. Back for more.
OSIM.
Back here courtside, here in San Bernardino, California. A lot cooler today than it was yesterday, probably about 10 degrees. Less on the thermometer. Man, April temperatures out here have been unstable, but inside the Pierce Sports Center, nice and cool today as the LA Blaze and the Chicago Untouchables play in our third of 4 matches. Again, don't go anywhere because at 6 p.m. we'll see our final of 12 teams make their 2022 debut when the newly rebranded Inland Empire Matadors, who call this facility home, take on Southern Exposure. LA trying to cool down this Chicago run, and that will help as Cuevas sticks it through the block.
Garbowski makes a great move to the outside, but drifting away from the net opens up his inside hand there, his right hand. Ball able to punch through and finds a kill for Cuevas.
So here is on the double substitution, we see the return of the dangerous Charles Belvin, and dropping back to serve will be Luis Carlos Ruiz Torres out of Lares, Puerto Rico, 25 years old. Too long on the attack by Kamil Garbowski, and Chicago's going to use its first challenge. Again, you get 3 challenges in the first 4 sets. Chicago believes that there was a touch. Our unofficial replay team upstairs, who likes to roar when they see something, well, they say there was a touch indeed. So Andrew Lee, the coach for Chicago, will use the green card. Remember, you get 3, and if you're correct, you get to keep that challenge.
Yeah, and I actually like this one quite a bit. Sometimes we talk about the usefulness and the timing. This point was started at 16-14, meaning that it's either going to end at 16-15 or 17-14. Either way, Chicago is able to get a little bit of an unofficial timeout right now, maybe recenter themselves or talk through the net if you're the case of Nice and Ragland right now. But either way, it gives them a chance to kind of talk about what they need to adjust, the connection that needs to be remade here. And there's some pretty big upside, I think, if Untouchables is able to confirm that there was, in fact, a touch.
Well, they now have a TV monitor courtside, so the teams are actually able to see the replay. That has been an addition to our arsenal as the teams are gathered around the screen. And we're sitting here watching LA, watching the reactions from Chicago. This is actually a nice addition to the game here, not only for the players to be able to see to our right the replay as it's happening, but to see the reactions from the players themselves. And Cynthia Buggs on the sideline of the LA Blaze saying, "I saw out." And we're waiting for the official call, and I believe it will remain with the Blaze.
It's kind of funny because all we can do is see the reaction of everyone. We can't actually see the screen from where we stand, so we're just watching everyone watch something else.
I actually have a technical solution for our next event in May that we'll be able to see the replay, so remind me to tell you that. So the side out goes to LA. It's now a 1-point set, 16-15. Chicago still holding on to the advantage.
Man, I gotta say, I love the volleyball. The challenge system is something I might love even more. Watching what that's done to the matches going on this season has been an absolute blast.
It makes a difference, especially in the men's game where the ball is traveling at blistering paces. You're not going to see everything.
Ooh, but we're seeing that one. That's a huge kill out of the middle for number 13, Garbowski, off of the fine serve receive of Nice.
Yeah, Garbowski had all day to swing away there in the great set for Chicago. We'll side it out for Danny Pereshkovov. Lopez is doing a nice job running this offense, Nick.
He certainly is. That was something last year that we saw a variety of setters trying to find the right kind of mojo for this offense. And Moises Lopez was someone we saw more often than not, but just finding that right speed. And I think right now we're seeing him in a form better than we saw him last year. And I love to see the connection he's developed with these hitters.
Well, last year, Ian Cap, now with the New Jersey Freedom, was often in that setting spot, but it took away his offense. And he's certainly valuable wherever he is out on the court. That one will fall in off of the redirection. Hernandez with another kill.
That was the only thing that we kind of saw to, Moises and I talked about it last year quite a bit and joked with him. That's the one downside to having his hands on the court is also the lack of size in the block. And it's taken advantage of there by LA Blaze, who is able to tie us up at 17.
And that is missed badly. Raglan, another big serve. In the middle, no chance to return it. Lenore again.
Lenore's been an absolute lethal weapon offensively here in the middle for the LA Blaze. A piece that they were missing yesterday to maybe compete with the likes of Lovett and Mountie. Love to see his addition to the court today.
Substitution here, we'll see Lenore come out. For the first time, we'll get a look at number 9, Tyler Patayao, native of Honolulu, Hawaii. 24 years old. And one more time we see the Camille Garbowski show.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about how impactful he'd been, and we've seen some good block touches, but not a ton of offense generated yet other than a serve that rotated once to the back of the court and a couple swings that missed. So seeing Camille come into his own right there is definitely something that Chicago was hoping to rely on a little bit more.
Garbowski leaves it short.
Spoke all too soon, it seems, Ira.
So they'll bring back in Cuevas. Cuevas has literally been all over the world. Morocco, Japan, Puerto Rico, the Middle East. He's again out of Newark, New Jersey, playing out here in LA. Now Serrano will drop back to serve out of Guadalajara, Mexico. He's 27 years old. Laying out for that one's Raglan. He came up hurt. That is blocked back. Diving to save it is Liz Dennis. Nice with the big swing. Free ball chance. That's blocked back. Clips the head of Pasha. And then Nice gets the kill off of the block. Now the question is, will Raglan's health, as when he laid out for that one, you heard him immediately scream out in pain, and he seems to be shaking off a left hand injury. I guess he's okay because he's able to use that hand to give a high five to his teammates, but if he's still wearing the mic, it'd be interesting to see what he's picked up. He's not.
Probably for the best.
Who's wearing the mic now?
I think we're only miking up in the first set, just in terms of managing. We don't want to be too invasive on the players and getting in the way there.
Jump, float, Nearly takes advantage of Cruz. Here's Nice, sidearm delivery. Back set, right side. But waiting for that one was Serrano off of the swing from Chicago. Triple block will fall in. Nice, Pasha, and concluding that triple block on the right side was Tereshkov.
Wow, what a great move. We've talked a lot about the importance of a triple blocking all weekend long, but Tereshkov doing a great job closing that off. And a little bit of momentum here late in the second set being generated on the side of the Chicago Untouchables.
LA forced to call a timeout, 2-point lead for Chicago. The Blaze still very much alive here in game 2. They convincingly won the first set in just 23 minutes, 25-18, leading from start to finish. The Blaze quickly concluded their conversation.
One of those, just a quick break. They don't, I don't think they're going to oversolve any problems based on the time it took for them to have that discussion. They're rallying quite well right now. I love the off-block and sharp angle defense that they're playing. Chicago Untouchables is really aggressive, swinging into seams.
Now, Serrano's done a nice job in the back row, being a second defensive presence alongside their libero Luz Dennis. And we'll see if they're able to side out here as Lopez serves. And putting it away was Eduardo Hernandez. And they'll hand it to Hernandez with a chance here to tie his team down by 1, 21-20. In the middle, that's blocked down. Will fall in, solo stuff, Carlos Negron. And we're all square at 21 all. An effective timeout for LA.
Taking a quick look at the YouTube chat. Seeing a lot of fans from the Chicago area supporting their Untouchables. Love to see what everyone thinks is going to happen to finish this one out in these last couple points here of the second set. Let us know what team you think is going to win.
Outside swing away, big dig for LA. Comes over on one. They go right side to Nice with the roll. And the Blaze were into the net. Negron saying no way. Asking for a challenge, but I don't know if you're able to challenge whether or not you touched. I guess you can.
Yes,
you can.
Net touch is challengeable, and I've got to say this is a great challenge. I had a frontline view. I'll address the one concern here. That ball got put down into the net at the top by Negron's hands as he pushed that down. I did not see any net. However, the one exception here that always gets interesting is when the ball hits the net and the net pops up and forces a net because of ball-to-net interaction. That's where I'm not too sure what happens in instances like that. I don't have a lot of experience, and I wish I did. However, I don't even think that occurred here. I don't think that there's any net touch violation. I think this is going to be deemed a replay in that instance. Well, I think it would be a net.
It would be a replay here because the play was not terminated, so
Correct.
They would have
Okay.
to restart it. But regardless of what happens, good call for the Blaze. Set 2, they have 3 challenges to use. They haven't used any yet, so for Chicago, they used one early on. It was not in their benefit. We'll see if LA has any better luck. And you see Cynthia Buggs on the sideline along with Noah Chast, our sideline reporter and digital expert, watching to see if there was a touch and if Chicago will not benefit from this one.
And I think it's going to be a successful challenge based on what I'm seeing in that replay.
Awesome. I don't know if that was hot mic'd in, but the feedback we're getting right now from Noah Chast is that looks like we're going to be getting a successful challenge, meaning a replay. LA Blaze successful in that attempt. We'll see momentarily what the official record is. Noah, appreciate you stopping by to give us the lowdown.
Absolutely, yeah. From that replay, it looked like there was mostly all ball that got in the net. It didn't seem like any of the players' arms or hands made any contact. Again, from the frame-by-frame replay that I saw, but we'll see what the official call on the floor is, or from the replay center, rather.
Replay Center. That is upstairs on the second level of the Pierce Sports Center. It's a really fancy place, by the way.
Ah, there it is. Noah, 1 for 1. Replay is confirmed. Negron being a very disciplined blocker alongside Rafael Cruz.
I mean, that's why we have replay. Negron came up immediately and was adamant that he did not touch that. And LA able to serve away, still even at 21 all. So it's a true race to 4 now after that great equalizer of a replay.
YouTube seems a little split. Blaze getting more preference, it looks like, here than the rest. Time will tell.
Will Ragland has a big fan club out there, it appears. He swings away. From the right side, that clipped off of the tape. Chance for LA to shut down Chicago, and they can't. Nice on the pin over the block. The Untouchables reclaim the lead, and they get the side out. And LA is going to utilize timeout number 2. So it's 22-21. When we come back, it'll be Nice to serve. But, you know, for LA, they've gotten a few breaks here. That challenge, of course, certainly the case study right there of why we need replay. It's one of the biggest additions to the NVA this year. You know, we see how it's changed the collegiate game. You don't see it in every match. It's, of course, mostly televised matches, but those matches that have it, coaches use it, and they use it strategically.
Certainly the case here, and that's been one of the fun adventures of running a professional league here, since that level of coaching isn't always necessarily built up, so we have a variety of coaches and experience. Something like that, the challenge system and training the coaches, letting everyone know when and how they can challenge, and seeing that implemented. It's been quite a rewarding experience to see the level of coaching elevated here in the league for those that were not already previously professional coaches in other countries.
That clips off of the HVAC and comes down for the ace for Chicago. 2 in a row for the Untouchables. They work the lead to 23-21. Nice, another big serve, comes over on 1. Chicago trying to get closer to the second set win. That will help. They have 3 set points after the kill from Zakir Pasha.
Pasha didn't quite get the connection he wanted there, but sometimes the tip over the top is all it takes. Right intentions in the set from Moises Lopez, and that's a kill all the same.
Set point number 1. We'll have to wait. Negron says play on.
Wow, I mean, that serving pressure from Nice was incredible, but Nicholas Dennis steps in. Perfect pass, and finding Negron right there out of the first side-out attempt was fantastic. Negron to serve now.
Set point number 2. To the outside to Ragland. From the back row, too long for LA, and Chicago takes set to 25-22. And after a shaky first set for the Untouchables, we are all square at 1 set apiece. Game 3 coming up here out in California. Come back for more. A lot more volleyball here to come.
OSIM.
Back here in San Bernardino, Ira Thor, Nick England, Noah Chest on the sideline. He's also our replay official, apparently, at Chicago and LA. All square at one set apiece. Strong effort there for the Untouchables. Really embracing every challenge that they got from LA and winning at the end.
Well, I got to say, that was quite the comeback there from Untouchables. And I remember a very key point when it all happened. And we saw that huge right side kill there off of the back of Paraskevov. And he really put that one down, got everyone pretty fired up. We saw Will Ragland make some big moves, backed there in the middle as well by Garbowski. And that was such a big turning point, right around 17 all, if I remember correctly, that the Chicago Untouchables created a lot of that energy, momentum, and just carried it through the end of the game. LA Blaze battled, kept things close, but it felt like Untouchables were certainly in control of the ship at that point.
Not a category we typically talk about statistically, but something that popped off the page for me was Austin Neese, who set number 1 came in as a serving specialist. He started set 2, and since he's been out on the court, he has a +5 1-loss ratio in terms of his team scoring points. So he's certainly made an impact since he's come out. He was not a star player at Purdue Fort Wayne.
Got a
He
quick
was
note
very
on the serving.
good, and somebody that, well, apparently has been a difference maker since he's turned pro here for Chicago. We have some information on serving. Noah Chest, what you got?
Well, GM Andrew Lee tells me and tells his team that they finally got comfortable serving there from the back line, and that's what changed for them. They were getting this Blaze team out of system, kind of taking that middle attack out of the rotation for this Blaze team with their competitive serving, and that's where he felt their team got all around more comfortable and the game fell into their hands as opposed to the other way around.
Thank you, Noah. For the Untouchables, that service attack is going to be so crucial here as LA defensively done a good job of closing off a lot of the gaps and a lot of the seams that have allowed Chicago offensively to be prominent offensively. They start off, however, with an error.
Well, a lot of breakdown on the serves that we were talking about, and man, Chicago coming back timely there with a missed serve. Unfortunate.
So for LA, they hand the ball back to Jesus Serrano. Ragland, great job passing that one. They go to Neese, and he sticks it through for the kill. In his first set of action, Neese able to pick up 4 kills in 10 swings, sitting at a 40% rate. Will Ragland is the match leader with 5 kills, matching host Joseph Cuevas. Belvin's swinging away, getting the start here in game 3. They go right side, put away, Eduardo Hernandez.
Neese was in a bit of a tough spot there, kind of sidestep shuffling on that block move. He was late to the left side there, and he turned around and told the guys, hey, that one's my bad. Quick set there by Serrano, very athletic guy, and his footwork there paid off for him.
6th kill for Eduardo Hernandez, who will serve away. Lopez tracks that one down. Neese swinging away. That's not coming back. He picks up his 6th kill.
Man, it's tough because we haven't seen anything yet from this Chicago team. It's hard to imagine that Neese wasn't worthy of one of those starting spots. And again, we don't know what the goal is with the roster management, but the impact he's had since re-entering this match in the second set, really, really clearly impacting positively for the Chicago Untouchables.
Neese serving away, leaves it short.
Second serving error there for Chicago. Haven't even given themselves a chance to play the point off of one of their own serves yet.
Here is Carlos Negron, the 6'5" middle, just 21 years old. He's one of the youngest players in the NVA.
All right, Ira, we've got 3 missed serves on 5 total on 6 attempts here. So we're at a 50% chance. They would say that's a coin flip. Zachar Pasha, he make the serve, yay or nay?
I'm going to say yay.
All right, I think he's going zone 5-6 cross court.
And stuffed down, triple block for Raglan alongside Pereshkovov, and of course the man in the middle, Kamil Garbowski.
Untouchables proving to be an effective triple blocking team when they're able to do it, and that usually happens off of the back of aggressive serving.
And they don't have anywhere near the height they did a year ago. That's poked up high in the air by Dennis Libero, and LA is going to score off of this.
Oh man, what a set. Taking advantage of the left-handed abilities there of Belvin, swinging high on that out-of-system little knuckle poke from Liz Dennis. Quite the athletic play from them.
Of course, Liz Dennis getting the start at libero with Ricardo Massenet not available this weekend. Massenet was third in total digs in the rankings last year with 88 in the NVA. From the back row, they run Hernandez. That'll go over on one. Miscommunication, but they track it down. And they tip, covered by Chicago. Here's Raglan swinging away. Hernandez with the dig. This time they go to Belvin, hangs in the air, but cannot get it to fall.
Man, we just saw, it was unfortunate as a middle when you're running around, everyone's running around, it's tough not to get in the way. But Damani Lenore was struggling not to block everyone else off from the ball there, everyone working around him. But the perseverance of the Chicago Untouchables rewarded in the end.
So here is Danny Pereshkovov. And this time getting the result is Lenore.
Man, he made that point a lot easier than the last one, that's for sure. Nice transition middle swing there.
Here's Rafa Cruz. Go right side, swinging away. Pereshkovov with another kill. His team leading 6-5.
I think this is a little bit more of the Untouchables we were expecting to see. Just had to settle in with their serving game a bit. And right now, I think that's where a lot of their success is predicated upon, how well they're serving.
That's blocked back, covered by Liz Dennis. Belvin. That's sent over and sending it right back, all frustrated with himself. Lenore realized he missed a golden opportunity.
Blaze looking for a call, maybe a double as Moises Lopez turned and put that over. But the reality of the matter is at this level of play and international rules, doubles are called quite infrequently. We don't need any more stoppage added to volleyball, and our referees are not looking to add any more here.
Belvin again hanging in the air, and this time gets it to fall in.
Man, he was tipping that ball down from the back row. He is so high in the air.
Belvin, who played his volleyball starting at Long Beach City College and then Hope International. Him and teammate Travis O'Gorman were both at Long Beach City together. That is buried by Garbowski.
And now we see a serving substitution. That's going to be number 27, Isaac Sageman, coming in. Kind of funny to me that they're going for the serving substitution after starting the match with Garbowski as the first server. But they've opted to clearly change their approach just a little bit here.
That reception eats up LA. Can they make something out of it? Hernandez deflected at the net. They go to Nice. Swinging away and leaving it short was Rafa Cruz.
The defensive moves based around the block for Chicago Untouchables are looking a lot better right now. A lot of good block touches. It's slowing the swings down. And LA Blaze has plenty of time, but it's time for them to do a little reassessment on how they plan on scoring offensively in transition. Down now by 3 at 9-6. Another big serve from Sageman, and that's an ace. A huge effort and impact off the bench. Number 27 coming in cold here in the third set, dealing some damage to the LA Blaze.
Isaac Sageman, just 22 years old, out of Chicago, Illinois. Fans called for him, and he is delivering. Substitution for LA. They bring back in the combination of Torres, number 13, and Cuevas, number 15. Out comes the electric Charles Belvin. Over on one, Nice. Can't get it to fall, though. Another chance for LA. And a tip falls in from Hernandez.
I would like to see Nice back off the net, take that as a free ball. He got some pretty good power on that, but because it got over his head, he didn't quite have the swing on top of the ball he might have liked for that overpass. All the same, love to see the impact there from Sageman, definitely coming in and making a difference.
3-point lead for Chicago. Cuevas serving. Good serve. Nice swinging away. A poke there to keep it alive by Cruz. And the finish by Cuevas.
Joseph doing a fantastic job of being good with his footwork, not going over that 3-meter line. Swings deep corner. I love when we see hitters not try to bounce the ball, and does a fantastic job being disciplined. Point earned for Blaze.
6 kill for Cuevas. He'll drop back to serve. Left it short. So here's Moises Lopez out of Oak Lawn, Illinois. And that one is in. They called it out on the court, and this time the communication.
Rafa Cruz showing off a variety of effective offensive weapons there. Shows the tip. The libero for the side of Untouchables reads that, starts crashing, and Rafa throws it into the corner. He gets a great point there. Beating out Cartwright.
And cuts the deficit to 2. Miscommunication there by Chicago. Better pass by Nice. They go to Nice from the right side, and he sticks it through.
With that, Untouchables pushes their lead back to 2, 3.
And it'll be Nice serving more. Nice, who's taking the spot of Radic Brija on the court.
This Untouchables team is going to have to face the Texas Tyrants tomorrow. We've seen a variety of the Tyrants guys here checking them out today, just doing their proper scouting report in person and coming out and enjoying the NVA arena here at Pierce Sports Center.
This is also a Chicago team that is missing 14 players on its roster this weekend who are not on this trip as Pasha puts it away. So they're going to have to go to war with the guys they got. And so far, they're making a bid here to take a 2-1 lead in this match. Over on 2. Swinging away was Torres. That tip clips the net and will fall in for a Chicago point.
Good read by Liz Dennis. Unfortunately, not a lot of room to operate. We're seeing the Blaze occasionally crowding up the middle of the court, causing a little traffic jam, paying true homage to their city of LA, and not able to find a way to put that one back over the net.
4-point lead for the Untouchables. Pasha again. And sticking that through for the kill, Lenore.
I have a special place in my heart for the appreciation of the one-handed set. Torres getting up physically on the net, finds Lenore there. I love that play. Electric to see that connection between a middle and a setter.
Very athletic play to also avoid net violation there.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that footwork, getting up to the net quick enough.
Oh,
well
he was
done.
tiptoeing along the midline and went up without avoiding hitting the nylon. As Torres goes to serve, swinging away as Ragland left it short. Ragland did not get a full approach. He had to kind of change direction off to his right. Just couldn't get his typical power behind it. By the way, his hand looks just fine.
Torres now to serve.
Ragland, if you remember, hurt his hand earlier in the second set when he dove on a serve reception. We're going to go here to Ragland, and he tools the block for the kill.
That was a great set cross court from Moises Lopez. Off his back foot, able to deliver the set all the way across. Ragland sets the guys up now with a screen.
Danny Tereshkov will serve. Line drive is Dennis with the pass. Big swing, and it's going to clip off of the ceiling. Credit the kill to Damani Lenore.
Lenore brings so much power and just explosiveness. He is such a physical player. Certainly would have loved to have seen him in that match yesterday, but glad that we're getting to see him here today.
Ragland, that will fall in for a Chicago kill. Ragland continues to roll, his team leading 16-13, and the Untouchables have seemingly now taken control of this set. We'll go to a break, come back for more of Game 3 here in San Bernardino.
OSIM.
Back here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, Ira Thor, Nick England, and Noah Chest alongside on the sideline as you're watching the Chicago Untouchables. The LA Blaze is our third match of the day. One more to go at 6 p.m. And again, for LA, this is their final match of the weekend. If you are not familiar with the new format this year, you will play 2 out of the 3 days rather than all 3 days on a weekend. That will give you 10 regular season matches by the time we get to mid-July, and that'll determine which 8 teams out of our 12 will advance to the postseason. That was run down, and it's going to be clear to the net. They're saying it was not on this side of the antenna, and Dennis Franceschini, our official, says no dice.
Well, that was quite a heroic effort trying to give that ball second life there from Torres as he tracked that down. But Will Ragland out of the technical timeout, applying even more of that service pressure that we were talking about.
That is left short. You know, when we look at the divisional breakdown this year, and something we didn't get a chance to do yesterday was our preseason predictions. And, you know, as I look at it right now, you know, I think Las Vegas is the team to beat in the American Coastal. I think Utah is still, until somebody says otherwise, is the team to beat in the American Central. I actually think New Jersey Freedom is potentially the team to beat in National Coastal, although OC Stunners are right in that conversation.
I don't think that's a discussion, but we'll touch that in a second.
And then I think the Texas Tyrants are clearly the big dog in the National Central. I think for the Stunners, it depends who shows up on each day.
Well, it's going to be the roster that you saw win the league last year. They're all coming back.
Yeah, if they all show up and they have a full house, then the OC Sunners are going to be a very difficult
Yeah,
team
you can
to beat.
expect to see Joey Jarvis returning from his season in Israel. Corey Chavers will be coming back from, I believe, Switzerland. I'm not too sure on that. I forget where he's at, and I should know, but I don't. We're going to see, just an overall quite a return. Josh Eisenberg coming back from Israel as well. So I still got Sunners not only taking the National Coastal, but potentially the whole NVA Cup in 2022 once again. But we'll have to see.
Who do you have in the American Coastal? Is it would it be the Ramblers, or can you not pick against yourselves?
Oh, I'm absolutely taking the Ramblers.
What about in the American Central?
American Central, Utah Stingers, although the Dallas Tornadoes looking like they had some
look
life
for real.
to them.
Yeah.
I like that, and Utah Stingers lost some pieces this year, so I agree with that assessment. But until I see otherwise, I'm going with Utah Stingers. Texas Tyrants, of course, as we saw a phenomenal showing last night.
And then for what I've seen after day 1 and 2, it looks like, just without seeing the Inland Empire Matadors play yet, I still believe it's going to be the Southern Exposure and the Dallas Tornadoes being the 2 wild card teams out of the American Conference. And if it's the Stunners and Freedom a toss up in the National, the other team will, of course, be that top wild card. Chicago Untouchables looking right now, they could potentially be that next team.
Well, it's worth noting also that because only one team is guaranteed from each division, both teams that are the at-large can be from the same. So you can see one division, all 3 teams represented in the playoffs. It's not just the second seed. So,
and it is possible. I just don't see it right now.
No, I agree
Out
with
of the Seattle Sasquatch and the LA Blaze would be that other team in the National Conference that would have a fighting chance.
I agree with your assessment very much. I just wanted to clarify that it is not 2 teams from every division. It in fact, one full division could represent, but based on what we've seen here, I think it's probably going to be 2 from each division across the league.
Well, Carlos Negron putting down the big smash to allow a side out, but the Blaze still trailing by 3, now 19-16 late here in game 3. Good pass by Ragland to allow them to back set Nice, and that will fall in for the kill. We saw a bit of hesitation there for Hernandez trying to track that ball down.
One quick point I love in the chat that I want to talk about is the potential roster management error by LA Blaze not designating both liberos. It's an interesting take, and I think that's the kind of stuff I love seeing in the chat, everyone engaging in that kind of conversation and seeing what teams can do to improve. In my opinion, this given conversation, I don't think it would really matter. What I think is missing is the fact that Ricardo Massanet isn't here. I think Nicholas Dennis is the best option given what LA Blaze has for everyone. But Ricardo Massanet is definitely a step up. No disrespect towards Liz Dennis, but Massanet is an absolute animal. So we'll see when he returns. But right there,
speaking of animals, Negron destroys it.
Certainly does. But right there, again, you see a perfect pass from Liz Dennis. So I think that there's some stuff to clean up, and he certainly has room to improve. But overall, I think there's other stuff to shore up first.
So Negron, after getting fed, he'll look to continue the run here for LA late. And a misfire in the middle there. Paul couldn't connect with his setter Lopez, and that misfire allows the Blaze to pull within 2. It's 20-18. That's left short. You could tell it was going to be short just based on the sound it made when it left his hand.
That contact was not the one Negron was looking for.
Ben Cartwright's done a pretty good job today at the libero spot for this Chicago team, and their defense has absolutely carried them in the second and third set. That is nearly dug down the line by Pasha, but just too much firepower from Charles Belvin. Now Belvin with the side out. 19-21, they trail.
A lot of pressure here on Belvin, one of their biggest servers. See if he can get something started. But that's quite a toss. Goes after it and finds it.
Very aggressive toss, 2 feet into the court. And over the block. One more time. Wow, just Will Ragland posting highlight plays. So they will hand the ball, will actually roll the ball to Danny Pereshkivov.
I mentioned Ricardo Massanet. Looks like he's here in chat, the Puerto Rican native, supporting his boys from across the ocean right now.
That's blocked back. Belvin covers it. Over on 2 they try, and it will be a double touch. At the tail end there, did you see the header by Lenore? It would count. If that was not the 4th touch, that would have counted.
Yep.
And Chicago now with a commanding lead, 23-19. The Blaze got to discuss.
Man, it feels like a little bit of that flames getting extinguished, some of that pop and excitement. Maybe trying to figure out exactly what's the solution. But right now, based on what I'm seeing, I want to see Lenore in the middle. His swings have been absolutely terminal and explosive. Maybe the LA Blaze can use a little bit of his energy to get them kind of kick-started again and get the machine rolling. They're certainly not out of this. They're passing at a high clip, and it's just kind of transitioning a couple of those important plays.
So see if the Blaze have any fight left in them here in this 3rd set. Otherwise, Chicago is going to have bounced back from a Game 1 defeat to take a 2-1 lead in the match. Pereshkivov continuing to serve with the float. They go outside, big swing, and that's going to fall in off the Rafa Cruz attack.
Cartwright could not quite handle the heat there by Rafa Cruz. See if he can do the same kind of damage from the service line now. Still down by 3. Blaze feels like their backs are a bit against the wall, but an opportunity all the same.
Well, their backs are against the wall. Chicago's been the hotter team of late and continue to roll. Nice save there. Was it inside the antenna? It was not, says Dennis Francisini, our official. Moises Lopez trying to save it. And now LA off the timeout has clipped it down to 2, 23-21. And Andrew Lee, the coach for Chicago, is going to want to use his first timeout.
Looking to ice the server a little bit. Rafa Cruz, hot off of a big kill, goes back in the service line. Targets Nice, able to get them out of system and yields not quite in the stat book an ace, but effectively might as well be. Ball never comes back over the net. I like this timeout from Coach Lee, seeing if he can slow the game down just a little bit. Nice has been pretty unwavering in the service line, so has Ragland. So give his guys a chance, recenter, refocus, and come back out and regain the opportunity to take match or set number 3.
So this is the most crucial point of the match for the Blaze. LA is able to score here. Nick, I think they put the pressure back on Chicago. Has not really felt that yet today. Game 1, they were never in contention. A little bit of a paintbrush. LA is able to keep it alive, and then they're saying long. They are definitely going to challenge this immediately. Eduardo Hernandez, who was calling for the touch, looked at his head coach, David Chaparro, was like, hey, we need to challenge this.
Right away.
No hesitation. And you know what? That's what we want to see. If you really believe that the call was wrong, put your money where your mouth was, and they immediately went to the challenge. So the green card is pulled out, and
one of my favorite things about this though is we talked about this last year, right? There's no discussing the call really after. Well, people love to discuss the call after it's been made, but there's no impact in doing so. And right now, Chicago Untouchables knows if they touched it or not. And I would say 98% of the time, if they touched it, we're going to see it on that replay. Of course, it's frame by frame. Some of those small touches, periodically, there's a chance that it gets missed, but it's highly unlikely. So right now, only Chicago Untouchables knows what the outcome of this play is about to be. And it's definitely an interesting thing because they're able to discuss how that impacts how the next couple points are about to play out. If that's a miss, then they're on set point. If not, they know that they're going to have to put their helmets on, step in there, and really defend the 1-point lead that will remain.
Well, you make a good point because it takes away, replay does, that gamesmanship of knowing that you touched it but just keeping your mouth shut.
Yep.
You know, they say stitches or snitches get stitches, but not when you have replay, because replay doesn't lie. And you're watching Chicago watch the replay. They're sitting there watching frame by frame by frame.
And from what I'm seeing, guys, I think it could really go either way. You maybe can see a frame where a finger bends backwards, but it also could have just split the hands entirely. This is one of the tougher ones I think we've had so far.
And we talked about that now. The one important thing to note, just like any major sport that has a challenge system, if there is not irrefutable evidence to overturn the call made, the call will stand. And in this case, we're about to get an official call from our ref up top. If they can't determine what occurred, this will remain a point for the Untouchables.
As we wait for the call here, as the Patrick Bradley, our down official, calls both coaches over.
Okay, I'm guessing. If that's discussed, Noah's going to get some further insight. I think if they're discussing this, what that means, if it's not irrefutable evidence, they're probably talking about it's close, but if there's not irrefutable evidence, they won't overturn. I'm curious what our investigative sideline reporter extraordinaire, Noah Chass, is going to bring back to us.
So the Blaze challenge was successful on the touch, but now the Untouchables are challenging a pancake earlier in that same rally.
Wow.
So a challenge within a challenge.
This is the story within the story.
We call this challengeception.
And the Blaze get the touch. There was no pancake. Or there was a pancake. It's good. Coach Lee wanted to challenge, thought it was a lift. The Blaze win the challenge, and heads up by Hernandez. He knew. The players know. And that challenge won by LA. That's huge now because it's a 1-point game. Instead of being a 24-21 triple set point, LA's got a shot to tie.
Serve here,
And
drops
ace
it
for
short.
LA. Rafa Cruz, a timely ace. And after being down for LA, storms back to call it even at 23. Wow. A useful timeout and a successful challenge. And now what else? Could be a free ball. He clips the antenna. Back-to-back aces. Rafa rules.
Rafa Cruz does it all, giving them a 1-point lead. We're going to see a timeout taken on the side of Chicago Untouchables. Wow, what an impactful challenge that was. Take a quick second to unpack it and everything that goes on with the challenge system here. Just to review the rules for anyone that's not sure. So there are 3 challenges for each team for the first 4 sets of a match, should it go beyond those 3 sets. At any time, if you challenge and are correct, you keep all challenges that challenge that you just used. If you're incorrect, that will count against you. You no longer have that challenge. If and when a 5th set is reached, regardless of how many challenges you have remaining, you are awarded 1, which follows the same rules of if you're correct, you keep it. If you're wrong, you lose it. Quick note in the chat says, NVA would love to see you guys be able to show that stream up on the stream for the viewers. Definitely something to be worked on. We had intention of that being here at this event, but some technical difficulties have prevented it thus far. But I can assure you that we are certainly sharing your sentiments, and that's something that we're hoping can change in the future. But if not, we're happy to bring you the challenge system all the same. We've seen the value it has brought to the league already.
Ragland trying to keep his team in this, and he gets the timely kill. And on set point, it takes the ball out of Cruz's hand. And we are all square again. Now 24-24. This 3rd set will go to extra points. Ended up being one of the better sets we've seen today. outside, swinging away. Getting the kill is Eduardo Hernandez. And this will be set point number 2 for LA. They'll bring back in Carlos Negron, and they'll sub in Tyler Padeo, the libero out of Honolulu. He'll serve for the set. This would be, for LA, if they could pull this off, a huge momentum boost after falling behind most of this third set and being outplayed in game 2. The floater. Nice, that's blocked back off the net. Chicago can't save it. The block by Serrano and Negron, and the LA Blaze have stormed back. And they take game number 3, 26-24. They lead this match 2-1. Great volleyball and a lot more still to be decided as we come back to the Pierce Sports Center in a moment for game number 4. Chicago trying to fight back.
OSIM.
Welcome back to the Pierce Sports Center. Let's send it over to the sideline as we get set for game number 4. Here's our sideline reporter, Noah Chast.
Well, Ira, if you can hear me, you can see the effect that that challenge system is playing. Totally shifted the momentum. And during that timeout with 23 all, Nicholas Dennis doing his best coach impression, telling his team, we need to play to win, not play to not lose. And that is sort of the way the Blaze are playing for a lot of that second and third set, kind of on their heels. The Untouchables serving, really getting them out of sorts. On the Untouchables side, they want to play more physical. They think when they get up at their highest at the net, they can't be beat by this team. Ira?
Thanks, Noah. And for the LA Blaze, they have to have a rejuvenated sense of motivation and just confidence right now because they were out of that third set. I really thought they were being outplayed badly. But for the LA Blaze, you know, they got enough of a scrappy bunch that knows how to fight back in these moments.
It'll certainly be interesting to see. You know, I really think that came off the back of a lot of those efforts of Rafael Cruz in that, you know, the last 6 or 7 points that got played out. So I'm curious to see how the rest of the team responds. Do they embrace and embody that same heroic effort that he was able to put out, or is it too much of a sigh of relief and a feeling like they got lucky, as it were, you know? I'm curious to see how they answer back. Does Chicago Untouchables go to their heels, or do they feel like they had one stolen and they want to come back and earn it right here?
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers, and it's been Hernandez and Negron, Lenore to some degree as well, that have been the big guns today. Negron's got a 67% hitting rate, 6 kills so far, along with a couple of blocks. Hernandez has 9 kills to lead the way. I want to see a lot more out of Cuevas and Belvin. They've been, I don't want to say quiet, you know, because Cuevas does have 6 kills, but he's hit under 50%. Belvin's only been set 6 times. I still think he's being underutilized. And it'll be interesting to see, with him being more of a weapon, how LA is able to maybe jump out to an early lead here in this 4th set and not leave anything for chance.
Certainly is. We're not seeing too many substitutions on the side of the LA Blaze. They think that the majority of the squad is right where it should be. The only substitutions we're seeing is that Torres Cuevas in for Belvin, Serrano, double sub at a variety of times, sometimes to keep the center back row opposite front row, sometimes just because they think they might have a better advantage with a different setter and an offensive opportunity, but certainly something to keep an eye on. Of course, no surprises here. Chicago Untouchables, no changes.
As the teams take the court here for the start of set number 4. It'll be an LA serve first, and it'll be Damani Lenore. They're going to start with the middle as your first server. And you see for LA in the background, trying to motivate his team a little bit more, David Chaparro. Swinging away for the kill to start game number 1, Chicago, Pereshkabov. So here's Lopez's serve for Chicago. Right side, I said I want to see more Belvin, and Belvin, we got, starts LA off with the kill off the block as they get on the scoreboard. It's 1-1.
LA Blaze, I think they heard you in the chat wanting to see more Belvin, and there he is.
I think Belvin, when he's on, is one of the more exciting players in the league. But if you don't feed him, he can't swing. Good pass for Chicago, but the set less desirable.
Good tempo there, but missed the window of Pasha. Unable to find that one. He kind of brushed it as it flew by, went on over the net and out of bounds.
If that is timed well, yeah, then Pasha's able to really do some damage, but that set sailed out of play. That one is short, that is run down by a diving Nice. And a net violation on LA.
Well done by Nice. They always talk about, you know, even when you're a front row outside, the importance of passing first. Let someone else on your team hit, but you've got to prioritize that first ball, and there he is rewarded just for that.
Swinging away is Negron. That's blocked back. They go to the right side. The tip is run down, however, by Pasha. Sent over by Chicago. One more time. That's blocked back on the swing by Hernandez. Belvin! Did he get the back line? No. Very, very close, but our line judge, yeah.
That was tough. There was a lot of close touches on the net, a lot of almost net touches, but no one challenging anything there, and point will stay with the Untouchables.
Elvin Oddly, the line judge on our left side, was right on it. And that is put away. Authority, Carlos Negron, leaving no chance.
The effectiveness of Negron here, hopefully continuing to apply some pressure for the pins on LA Blaze to not have 2 and 3 blockers in front of them. but his importance cannot be understated in the offensive scheme being run.
In the middle, Pasha calls that through.
Well handled by Cartwright in the serve receive there. Gives another opportunity. I love the involvement from both teams' middles.
Ben Cartwright, the libero out of Lombard, Illinois, went to North Central College. Belvin, that gets blocked and it comes our way.
Wow, I mean, that was a heck of a set by Serrano. Belvin up too early. I mean, that set was pretty much as quick as I think Serrano can realistically set that. But Belvin's there a little bit early, and a nice hanging block by Ragland, able to control and corral that back in.
5-3 lead for Chicago. Got to win this set or the LA Blaze will pick up their first win of the year. Belvin swinging away, forces Chicago into the net. Ragland disagrees. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Ragland pounds it off of the block for the kill. Chicago coach Andrew Lee thought that was all net, but not going to challenge.
Nice pass by Cartwright.
They go to Ragland again, and is he able to slot it through the double block.
Man, Ragland loves to just chat, a little trash talk, keep it casual, keep it friendly, but always loves to be chirping through the net for the exact reason he can. He's got an arm like that, answers back beautifully on the outside to get a big kill in a timely manner for the Chicago Untouchables.
Ragland had a very productive career at Eastern Mennonite University. He was a second-team All-CVC selection. Was actually the AVCA National Player of the Week in March 2017. So he had a good career. Had as many as 27 kills during his time with the Royals down in southwestern Virginia. And a lot of these programs around the country you may not have heard of because on the East Coast there's not that many Division I programs outside of Penn State and NJIT and George Mason and Princeton. It's not a huge Division I opportunity out there, so unless you come out west, you have to play for some of the smaller schools. And that's where a lot of these pro players have owned their craft, including this guy, Camille Garbowski, who played his volleyball at King University and buried that one.
You have to appreciate the perfection of execution there. Ragland dimes a pass, Moises Lopez lays it up, and you just see Grabowski there just puts that away.
Big serve by Ragland, and that will not go over. And Chicago, they get the point as LA misses on 4. It's 8-5. By the way, as I'm looking online at Will Ragland's collegiate bio page at Eastern Mennonite, man, he looks so different with a beard and a mustache.
Certainly does.
As he smiles away with another ace.
Ragland right there, just continuing to apply relentless service pressure.
So I think LA is going to challenge whether that was in or out.
You know, down 9-5 in the beginning of the set here. I think that they, if I'm counting correctly, and let me know if I'm wrong, I think they still have all 3 challenges because I think they've been correct so far. So, you know, I don't think that's a bad challenge here in the 4th set. Might as well use it, see if you can shore this up and not go down by 4 points.
I've put in the chat for those watching the match, you want to see the before and after transformation of Will Ragland, what he looked like clean shaven. He was a handsome young lad. And that is upheld. It's an ace for Will Ragland.
I'll let you guys know that one was not particularly close.
That was one of the quickest challenges we've seen so far. I don't think there was a lot of debate 8, and as Noah said, not a particularly great challenge.
But my question is, I mean, if anything, maybe it was used as a timeout here to freeze Raglan.
That's like I said, the
Gamesmanship there.
multifaceted. Yep.
But my question, Noah, was that, according to the officials, a worse challenge than Justin Beaumont's before in the Freedom match?
You know, I didn't hear anyone say that, so it's up to interpretation. I don't know if it was quite as bad as Beaumont's earlier today.
Good pass by Nice. Allows a put away for Garbowski.
Garbowski, we've been waiting all match. You know, he's very clearly got an offensive prowess that is just sure to deliver, but we haven't quite seen that connection, and all of a sudden we're seeing the set get up just high enough for him to get up there and really use all of that height.
He's got 6 kills. That one goes long.
Serving is not something we've seen to be touted as one of his strengths so far, though. Sends another one long.
(10-7) your score in favor of the Untouchables. That one, not only too long, will leave a leg contusion on our line 1 on this side, Elvin Otley.
Middle's determined to exchange missed serves. We'll see if Moises Lopez can change that story.
Swinging away in the ground, doing bad things.
Woo-hoo. Bringing the heat back to the middle. I love seeing that once again.
(11-8) is your score. They hand the ball off to Serrano. He's trying to will their way back. They did just that in game 3 when they were behind, but a free ball, Serrano had a chance to swing. The touch, yes, the touch, as Danny Pereshkovov gets the kill on the side out for Chicago.
Oh, discipline. I don't know if it was a touch or a net call. The down got a net call, but I don't know if there was a touch as well. But if it was only the net, that's where you've got to stay disciplined. You cannot find yourself falling into it off balance there as we go to a 12-8 lead, 4 points for Chicago.
Over on 1 and no chance for a replay as Pasha puts it down. LA will utilize its first timeout here as Chicago has now opened up a commanding 5-point lead.
Chicago answering back, even with some missed serves, doing a great job applying the pressure. And this is kind of what I was concerned about going into that 4th set. Did it feel like the LA Blaze had done what they needed to earn and create the momentum that got them that win in the 3rd set? Or was it going to feel like they kind of rode the back of Rafael Cruz and given a 5-point deficit right now? It feels a little bit like they might have been kind of riding some coattails.
Yeah, I thought LA was very, very fortunate to win that 3rd set, especially with how they played for the first 2 thirds. And might have been riding some coattails, but you know what? Sometimes you have to do that, ride the wave of the hot player. But for Chicago right now, they've been getting so many contributions. It's not been just 1 or 2 guys. And they will hand the ball to Nice. Nice has come off the bench. He was +7 through the first 3 sets. That was the highest of anybody on the floor. Swinging away down the line. That comes over on 1. And after Hernandez got dug, Negron ends the play.
Good heads-up play from Negron on his swing. Ball went through the net. Some people were calling for one, but great no call there by our referee team. And that's going to bring Hernandez back to see if he can generate a little momentum, start chipping away at this Chicago Untouchables lead.
The pass by Raglan. They go right on the pin. And getting the result is Danny Pereshkovov. He's able to tool the block and avoid going under the net.
What a disciplined swing. Not netting, not going under, not hitting the antenna. Cleaning the point up. Love to see that effort from Pereshko. Can you say that one for me?
Pereshkova.
Pereshkova. When I hear it, I see it, I read it, no problem. I try to say it. Tongue takes a little trip on me.
I got it memorized now. I mean, he's going to be here all year. Negron buries one in the earth. Ragland getting redemption.
Put some Parmesan on that pizza. That's a great swing as he slices that one down the line.
Chicago still running away with this set, using the tape and diving to get a hand, and that was Liz Dennis. Will that get the touch? It will, and the Blaze get a crucial side out. Still down 4, however, as they do the double substitution. Cuevas returns, and they'll also bring in the hands of Torres.
Still a 4-point lead here for Chicago. The game only continues to progress further along, but Blaze making no headway and shrinking this lead. They've got to start making a move before it's too late.
So here is the aforementioned Torres out of Lares, Puerto Rico. And he gets the ace back-to-back for the Blaze, suddenly igniting.
Man, that serve had everybody in the serve-receive line for Chicago fooled. I don't think anyone took a step. They just stopped and stared.
They all were frozen like watching a home run sail over the fence. Another serve here for Torres. Nice with the pass. They go outside the Ragland, reach out and stuff someone. One-on-one, it's Joseph Cuevas. Not an easy task shutting down Will Ragland.
He's waited all match to get Ragland back. Ragland being one of the major kill leaders here on the side of Chicago. Cuevas wanted and needed that stop.
So 3 in a row now for the Blaze, trying to cut it to 1. And the run ends here as Camille Garbowski, we could probably rename him Kilbowski because he is collecting them in bunches right now.
It's a new movie. It's a volleyball movie, The Great Kilbowski.
To add that to the list that we've come up with this weekend. Ragland's a serve. And finding the open spot, good location, Damani Lenore.
Sounds like it might be an epic tale with two teams battling it out, focused on Lenore and Garbowski going, exchanging blows. Lenore is putting on quite the show offensively.
So LA hands the ball back to Rafa Cruz. Had a lot of success at the end of that third set. That ate up the libero, but he kept it alive. Oh, and the roll by Cuevas won't find the spot.
Exceptional dig down the line by Liz Dennis. Good turn by Cruz there in the middle of that route, or Hernandez to keep that alive, but Cuevas does not find the contact that he's looking for. And that's going to be a timeout called on the side of LA Blaze, who is now still down by 3 points at 17-14. Chicago Untouchables definitely got to be feeling confident about how they're playing this match out right now. Because at this point with a 3-point lead, you just play to keep siding out. You want to keep exchanging blows, and I think they're doing a fantastic job of that. Service pressure is very prevalent, as well as their ability to hang in there and battle with the servers from the LA Blaze. So this matchup has definitely been an exciting one thus far.
Chicago Untouchables. You see the new uniforms this year. looking pretty good. We've seen some interesting designs on some of the newer kits this year across the league.
I love it, man. I love seeing, a variety of different looks. Keep them loud.
Some of them are very loud, but that's okay.
I'm all
Everybody's
for
showing
it.
their flair.
That Sasquatch bright green. I'm a big fan of the Tyrant's new Tiger Claw attack. I know it may not be your favorite, but hey, I'm all about it. Chicago Untouchables looking flashy in theirs. You can see the skyline of Jersey on the new Freedom jerseys as well. There's a variety of new looks.
Yeah, the only thing with the Tyrant uniforms is the numbers are a little tough to read, but they definitely show the personality of that squad.
Absolutely.
LA Blaze new unis, certainly have some zazz. And that is, speaking of some zazz, stuffed down. Cuevas one-on-one on the pin.
Couldn't be more timely. Now just down to a 1-point lead. 17-16 on the back of a service run here from Lenore.
And the Blaze blocking scheme has woken up after a 3-set nap. Getting a hand coming over on one. Raglan has to play it. They dump it on two. Joust at the net. Over on one, and that is it as Carlos Negron puts it to the floor. Chicago wants an argument here about whether or not Negron came over. It's 17-all now. That has been yet another late comeback. We saw them come back from 4 down in the third set to win. They've been down by as many as 5 here in the fourth set. We're all square at 17. That is dug up, clips off the ceiling. They're gonna come over on one, but dug up by Cuevas after the swing by Lopez. Looked like Nice slipped for a second. Chance for LA to run something, they just have to send it deep. One more time, Nice. Blaze playing fine defensively. And Chicago gets the answer on the block. Zakir Pasha.
Man, that is one of the absolute best rallies we've seen. Phenomenal movement from both sides. Everyone unwilling and unrelenting in their efforts to let that go down, but finally a stop in the middle from Chicago Untouchables.
So the Blaze will side out here. Hand the ball over to Cuevas. Correction, to Serrano. Go back to the middle, Pasha. Dug up by LA and finding a useful spot, Charles Belvin. And the LA Blaze leading 19-18.
A good attempt at running Pasha in the transition there in the middle, but dug up by Liz Dennis.
LA trying to add to its late set fortunes. Swinging away is Nice, huge net violation. We saw that long before Nice went up. And Chicago will be the benefactors.
Man, we are all too familiar with this position in this match. 19 apiece tied up in the final leg of this race.
Nice to serve. LA goes right side, power down the line, and finding the spot is Eduardo Hernandez with yet another kill. He's in double figures today.
Not too sure where Cartwright was going on that one there. Was charging in short. That ball just feeds past Raglan's block down the line.
So a 1-point lead for the Blaze. They are the first to 20 here in game 4. Left short.
Hernandez leaves the door open a bit with that one as we have entered one of the most infamous drills in volleyball. Race to 5 starting at 2020. This one really tests your mental fortitude and ability to be clutch and play at a high, consistent level.
Here's Pasha to serve. Looking at his options, and he finds a Belvin. You saw looking back at the court was Torres.
Well, Belvin hasn't seen too many sets up to this point, and in the last 2 sets, we see him kind of dealing with some different offensive options there. One power tip down the line, that one goes with a little bit of a windmill swing over the top. Seeing effectiveness from both.
I misspoke, it was Serrano who looked back at the court, but he set up Belvin, and that allowed LA to side out, and Kilbowski with another for Chicago. Kamil Garbowski has become a great option for Chicago up front. Again, we talked about the middles that they lost from a year ago. Somebody had to step up, and Kamil so far has done that, and we are knotted at 21, so now it's a race to 4. One more time, it's Belvin. Did he clip the court? He did. That's a tremendous angle for Belvin. His back was basically to the sideline, and he torqued it inside the tape. Double stuff for the Blaze, led by Damani Lenore. LA leads 23-21. Timeout, Chicago.
And this is absolutely what you want to see when you talk about that energy and the discipline. But you know what? LA Blaze, this is all off the back of their blocking. We saw a couple tight sets, and they weren't really being characterized as a solid blocking team throughout this match. All of a sudden, we see Cuevas finally gets that shutdown, solo on the right side, stopping Ragland, and it feels like it's all but snowballed from there.
And for the Blaze, their blocking game certainly has arrived. Really wasn't much of a factor through the first few points.
Blaze pulled out.
And they have now had, my count is right, 4 blocks this set. So for LA, they've been tested today. They weren't much of a factor in the loss yesterday to the Tyrants. I don't think too many teams will be this year. And that's no shame at all for LA. The Tyrants are just that good, but these teams are fairly evenly matched, and it's been the Blaze that have taken advantage in late moments. It's served by Belvin. They go right side. The Blaze run that one down, and this will be sent over by the libero, Liz Dennis. Liz Dennis is there again. Belvin swinging away. That's going to fall in off the block, and LA will have 3 match points. And Chicago, a quick powwow behind the back line. I think Nice came up with an injured hand for a moment, but they will call a timeout, their second. And Nice looks like he's all right, but Chicago, everything they've thrown at the Blaze, LA's found an answer. A 5-point lead early on, 13-8. Chicago led, Nick, and just not enough. In fact, it's been a 9-point turnaround from a 5-point deficit to a 4-point lead, or a 3-point lead, looking for the wrap-up here at 25-21. Serving for the match, here is Belvin. He tries to drop in the float. Chicago's able to preserve the play as the run down by the Untouchables and then the kill by Garbowski. So this will be match point number 2. Will Ragland try to keep his team alive. Now 24-22 they trail. Ragland nearly drops in the ace, and a big serve from Raglan when they needed it most, and now with a chance to tie it up. Can Chicago stave off 3 match points after this timeout?
It's just one. 23-24, down by just one.
It was 3. They staved off the first 2. Can they do a third? Belvin swinging for the match. No! And I don't know if that was the moment to come out guns a-blazing.
Apologies, I misheard you there. Yeah, you're totally right. But now I think we're about to see a challenge.
We're definitely going to see a challenge. Belvin thought he got a touch.
It's not a touch. They're looking for a net call, I believe. Maybe it was a touch. I don't know. Something
Either way, they're going to challenge a contact by a human of some sort. And if this is overturned, that's the match. That would be it. That'd be probably a unclimactic way to end the match, but with replay, that's always a possibility, and we're going to find out as Coach Chas comes over to take a look at the replay.
It feels only fitting, though. Charles Belvin has been contributing, I think, almost every single point here in this final leg since it hit 20. I think this will be his 4th or 5th point, really putting the team on his back, and we didn't say his name enough during the match, but here he is at the critical moment.
Well, he wasn't getting set early on.
Sure.
Part of it was just the way that the lineups were structured, wasn't always out there with the double substitution, but a lot of credit to Will Raglan. Not shying away from serving tough. He's keeping it in play. That's obviously the most crucial aspect of his service game at this point. And the replay shows that there was not a touch, and we are all square.
And so the Blaze, they were challenging a net touch, and when I went over there, they did not really seem that confident in the call, more using it because they had it.
Gotcha. Appreciate the insight. No, there it is. Raglan once again seeing if he can make some magic happen.
Nearly over again. That is left short. 4 in a row for Chicago. They've turned what looked like certain death into set point, trying to force a 5th set.
Rafa Cruz was the hero in set 3 as Blaze stole it back. Is that story about to rear its ugly head once again?
Raglan serving for the set. Laying out for that one was Lenore. Belvin says play on. Power down the line.
Raglan finds himself in the bathroom after that hustle and run. Barely staved off. That was Lenore with the heads-up play to help the bounce off the tape on the serve. Raglan buys the Untouchables just a little bit more time and breathes life into some second wind, maybe making another late-game run here.
So once again, we go to extra points, 25 all, and they'll hand the ball to Rafa Cruz to try to untie it. That one run down by Cruz and will be sent over by Liz Dennis. Another chance for Chicago. Nice destruction!
The inside lob route pays off tremendously. Austin Neese steps in and slaughters that ball into the corner. Well done.
This will be set point number 2 for Chicago. Well, it won't be Will Raglan this time. And going back to serve will be number 30, Camille Garbelski, the Clifton, New Jersey native, just 24 years old. He'll have the ball in his hands with a chance to force a 5th set.
Well, this is certainly delivering, providing explosive and exciting volleyball all the way to the end.
That is blocked out of bounds, however, a crucial kill for Hernandez. And now even at 26 all, we're going to have a substitution. It'll be Lenore coming out, and coming in will be Tyler Padayo. By the way, that was great camera work a couple of minutes ago watching the players retrieve the ball. Over on 2, sneaky is Moises Lopez.
He hasn't hardly dumped at all this match, if he even has once. And right there, a lot of trust, sees the opening. It's not something the defense from Blaze was ready for, and gives his team back a 1-point lead, and we are back at set point once again.
Serving for the set again is Lopez at 27-26. That sails off the court, run down by Hernandez. He sent over, chance for Chicago to end it here. And that set was behind the antenna. Nothing that Pereshkovov could do with it.
Cartwright does not get the pass he wants on that free ball. That's inexcusable. He's got to be able to take care of that. Puts it too tight for the back row setter with Lopez. Has very limited options, tries to back set. Critical point for Untouchables to miss out on right there.
And this now becomes our longest set of the entire weekend so far. We're at 27 all. And that is a bad service error.
Uncharacteristic. Serrano's the guy that's seen the most serves thus far in the match on the side of Blaze, indicating his ability to string runs together. And right there, ends it before it even begins. Now Nice to put it in the court.
Nice for set point, tried to power that one and left it short. So we play on, 28 all. So they'll hand it back to Eduardo Hernandez. That is dug up by LA. That set is very tight. The Belvin is able to tool the block. The officials say what? Delayed call.
There was a lot
say
going on.
There was. And this will most certainly be challenged. When you have that level of uncertainty from your R1 and the rest of the officiating crew is slow to react, you know it's getting challenged.
We're going to get a little more insight here in just a minute as to what was challenged exactly. Because as Belvin came in, he redirected off of the hands, or at least that's what was called. Potentially no touch at all. That could have rolled on the tape. Also, very well could have been a net there on the side of the LA Blaze. But either way, Chicago Untouchables, with their back against the wall here, are not going to let that go unchallenged. So this will be exciting to see unravel.
Well, Nick, they got to use it. Can't take them. Any challenges you have left are wiped out if you go to the fifth set. If we go to a fifth set, each team, fresh set of one challenge each.
Yep.
If you're correct, you keep it. If you're wrong, nighty-night. But for the Chicago Untouchables right now, just haven't been able to find a way just to keep LA off the net. The Blaze are getting a lot of tight sets, opportunities to swing away, and the Untouchables, if they lose today, that's going to be their downfall.
Our Eagle Eye reporter here, No Chas, getting an eye right now to see exactly what's going on, and we'll get some feedback from him in a moment. But excited to see how this one continues unraveling. After this match at 6 o'clock, we're going to have our final match of the night. That's going to be Southern Exposure taking on the Inland Empire Matadors. So that'll be our final conclusion for the day before heading on to day number 3 here in San Bernardino, California. 4 more matches tomorrow. You won't want to miss out.
So the Untouchables initially challenged that there was no touch on the ball. Then they wanted to kind of rescind that and say there was a net touch on the Blaze. Neither would be true, or at least the second they could not challenge. They already challenged the no touch on the ball, and that was upheld.
There it is. So Charles Belvin once again being as clutch as they come, scoring another point for the LA Blaze, giving them match point.
29-28 match point. They will hand it to Eduardo Hernandez. Dramatic fourth set. Will this be how it ends? Swinging away, and he misses the court. And we play on at 29 all.
Coach Andrew Lee letting us know how big brain he is, regardless of the outcome. He slowed it down, iced the server, and man, the serving problems for LA Blaze continue.
So 29-29. Wicked smart is Chicago coach Andrew Lee. Back set to Belvin, that's stuffed back. Second chance for the Blaze, and that will find a home from Rafa Cruz.
30-29. This is a marathon match that is sure to go the distance. Blaze once again with the match point, and
This is
that's going
their
to be
fifth
Negron.
match point. 3 that they evaporated at 24-21, and now trying to end it here with their middle behind the service line. Off the chest of Negron, and it lands out of bounds. Negron was trying to will it like a golf shot onto the green, but no, it sailed wide. And well, in the 2 years I've been with the NVA, this is the first time I've seen it go 30-30.
Yeah, this is certainly one of the distance runners we've ever seen. I'd love to find out from our stats team that doesn't exist as to what the longest game in the NVA was, but we don't have that one on hand, unfortunately.
Danny Pereshkovov with the serve, nearly with the ace. Belvin left it short. He's disgusted. And now for the fourth time, Chicago will have a set point. Trying to force a fifth and decisive. Pereshkovov. Will he be the one to draw this to a close? At 31-30. They go to Belvin, and Belvin delivers.
Man, it makes you think that this game wouldn't even be close if Belvin was getting as many sets as he is right now throughout this match. He is nigh uncontested right now.
Belvin, one of the stars from Long Beach City College, who currently plays for the LA Blaze. He will drop back to serve. Tries to dump one in. Nice was waiting for it. They go to the right side, power tip, right to Dennis. That is blocked back. It'll fall in. The blocked for Chicago from Kamil Garbowski.
Garbowski working hard, going side to side, pin to pin, to make sure he's getting as many block touches as possible. We saw a couple in the last rally as well, and his presence is really paying off for the boys in blue.
32-31, another set point for Chicago, but we continue to play on as that is buried by Cruz.
Rafa Cruz was the hero in set number 3, goes back to the service line with ice in his veins. See if he can do it once again. For anyone unfamiliar with volleyball, there is no cap in score. It's whoever wins by 2.
32-32. Nobody wants to win this set right now. As they go to the outside, Nice, that's tracked down by Cruz. LA to swing, and a double stuff for Chicago, Garbowski and Lopez.
We just talked about the presence that Garbowski is showing in the middle, and just like that, he drags his inside hand, able to shut Hernandez down at a critical moment, once again giving the Untouchables set point to send this to the 5th.
33-32, a 6-set point for Chicago. And did that stay on the court? It did not. And Chicago mercifully wins game 4, 34-32. A battle of wills will require 5. We will go to set 5 when we return here at the Pierce Sports Center.
OSIM.
And we're back here in San Bernardino, set number 5 between the Chicago Untouchables and the LA Blaze. The Blaze had ample opportunities to end this in 4 and just could not get that final point. Led 24-21, had multiple extra opportunities in extra points, but the will of the Untouchables in their season debut certainly, well, showing today what they are capable of, and some crafty moves by their head coach today, Andrew Lee, and he's been talking on the sideline that it's not just about the challenge, it's about the point after the challenge and the impact that can certainly come out of that. And, well, a little gamesmanship from the sideline, but it's paying off as this squad will pick up a point today, Nick, no matter what in our scoring system.
They certainly will, and for anyone unfamiliar, what my co-partner here is talking about with the point scoring, there are major points scored throughout the system which help at the end of the season to do any tiebreakers. And the way that you score points is 3 points for a win in 3 or 4 sets, 2 for a win in 5, 1 for a loss in 5. So that will be important later on. Mattered a lot in the 2021 season.
And Chicago can't save that one, so starting us off with a kill, Rafa Cruz. And you look at the numbers through 4 sets, pretty even across the board. LA hit 50% as a team through 4 sets. The Untouchables 48%. The Blaze have passed at a 74% rate. The Untouchables 73%. So serving away here is Hernandez. Good pass from Chicago allows Nice to do his thing. So serving away here will be Moises Lopez, and he leaves it short. Yet another service error. That is the 21st for Chicago. LA only a 17, despite all the errant serves that we have pointed out. That's a much better serve for LA. And the attack is in by Pasha. I thought that was going to sail wide, but just got enough.
And just a quick clarification, since this is likely going to push our schedule beyond the 6 o'clock match time for the next one, we will guarantee each team at least 30 minutes of warm-up time. So if this ends at 6, next match will be live at 6:30, so you don't want to go anywhere for Matador's Southern Exposure.
Off the shoulder of Nice, and Ragland will send this nice and high and allow everyone to reset. Ragland was a little early on his jump there, but Nice with the dig, swinging away and tooling the block is Pereshkovov.
Pereshkovov really clutching up right there. Miscommunication, Belvin going in early and fast. Serrano airs that out a little bit more, giving away a potentially free opportunity as we see now 3-2 for the Untouchables.
Belvin getting a swing, and Charles Belvin continues to pay dividends. Through the first 4 sets, he had a +8 ratio for points won and lost with him on the floor. That was the most of anybody in the match. Austin Nice for the Untouchables was +7. And he'll drop back to serve his team in a battle here at 3-3. Nice float from Belvin. That is blocked down. One-on-one rejection by Lenore Damani. Damani Lenore with the solo block. And Belvin his team up 4-3. That will fall in the back corner. Belvin with the ace.
Wow. Someone that normally hits a jump serve to be able to switch over to that float and see productivity like that couldn't be more clutch. Belvin is really taking over this match here later on in the 4th and 5th sets.
That will fall in. No. Nice is there in time. Ragland eclipsed the antenna. Was it off the block? No. Ragland with the attack here, and the Blaze have themselves a bit of a run here early in a short 5th set. Remember, you played a 15. They put up 4 in a row. It's 6-3.
Pressure is back on Untouchables to get out of this rotation.
There's Ragland swinging away. That's blocked back. Covered by the libero Cartwright. And thunder from Pereshkovov. An authoritative side out.
Wow, Pereshkovov could not be more clutch with that time.
Here's Pasha to serve. That's going to sail off the court. Belvin able to save it and dumped over by LA. Go back to Pereshkovov and he's able to tool the block. Belvin to swing away. He gets the touch. Another side out for LA as they take a 7-5 lead. We'll switch sides at 8.
Really important for the flow of the game for Chicago to see if they're able to get one more point right here. Side out right now. This is a critical, critical moment. You really want to switch sides on your own terms.
Rafa Cruz to serve away. They go to the middle. LA was waiting for him. Swinging away and getting the kill is Hernandez.
Nice upset with his inability there to keep that one alive, but Pereshkovov claims that. God, I trip on that one every time. There's so many names I can get right in here, and that's just I found my match. Pereshkovov.
I mean, I don't even bother saying Storm's last name anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I just call him by, he's got a memorable first name, so, for the Utah Stingers, so why bother? But Pereshkovov in Chicago needs to figure this out quickly because they find themselves behind 3 at the midway point, and they don't have as much time to catch up. It would be a shame for Chicago to go all this way and just falter at the end. LA Blaze would certainly be pleased if that's the case. Like to leave this weekend 1-1 in this division. Over on one!
Detonation!
Buried through the earth! Damani Lenore. I don't know what else to say. That's about as hard as a human being can hit a volleyball.
Check
without
the floor.
without denting the court. That will be on his highlight reel the rest of his life. Just insanity. And there is nobody in the building who's not impressed. And Chicago, well, they need to figure this out quick now because they are down 9-5.
Chat seems like it's reacting to.
I'm watching the stream too, and there's a delay, but it's on time.
That's what I was saying. It's down to 4-6. It's 5-9.
So 9-5 after the timeout. LA serving away. That clips off of the air conditioning support. Ragland still able to swing away. They go back to Belvin. Well disguised. Blocked back. And sent deep for LA. Nice will just dump it over. Broken play. Can LA capitalize? Swinging away. And that is blocked back again. Belvin. Nice was there. That looked like it was going to go out of play. The Blaze had to play it. Belvin with a deep dump. And swinging, that will fall in. Kamil Garbowski ends the longest rally.
Wow. There was a lot of opportunities. There was a lot of block moves made by the Untouchables there, but they're able to rally it out and see it through. Austin Nice had a couple digs there that did not get the result he wanted, that's for sure.
So Chicago, a crucial serve here coming from Danny Pereshkovov. Clips off the tape. LA plays it. Swinging away, and not as hard, but wow, I thought that was in by Lenore. They have one chance, and they are. I thought it was in, Nick.
I don't even act like I had an angle on that one. I got a great look at the back of our R2, Pat Bradley's back, and I can't see a thing.
Patrick Bradley is proud of his backside. It's made for television. And they will review this. It'll be interesting to watch the reaction from both teams because this is a pivotal point in the match. At 9-7 now, LA in front. This could go towards Chicago, and well, then you know they had themselves a fighting chance here. If LA wins this, they're gonna be the first 1 to 10.
You know, I got to be honest. I'm a little jealous.
When are you not honest?
Well,
you're always honest.
Yeah, try. You know, we're sitting here chatting it up, talking about what's going on, and our third leg over here, Noah, gets to go watch a TV to see these slow breakdowns and know exactly what's going on, and then report it back to us. Everyone on the court is getting into it. We're getting a victorious feel from some people over here. We'll see what the official call is. But
so we'll have to wait for that official call, but on that replay, it looks like it hits the line, and you hear the celebration. That ball was in.
Told you. Told you. I might be the oldest member of our crews, but eagle eyes. Right through Patrick Bradley's back.
And that means even though there was only one challenge in the pocket of the LA Blaze here in the fifth set, that means they're going to keep that challenge as they continue forward.
So the score is now 9-6 as actually it should be 10-6. They're checking the score. It is 10-6. Yeah,
yep,
there we go.
Here.
I was like, it was 9-7, so you take away a point, give it to the other. Yeah, there you go. Math is hard. 10-6 is the score. LA up by 4. Chicago Ragland reaching out with one arm was Belvin and sent deep. Chance for Chicago to run. But a misdirection there, and now can the Blaze capitalize? They go to Negron, who finishes it. So the Blaze bringing a serving substitution. And that will fall in a good spot there for Grabowski, catching LA off balance.
We saw Grabowski with some fancy footwork getting around his outside on the ground there. Nice still getting up and finds that push into the corner. Great court vision and fancy footwork.
Well, down 4, if there's anybody the Untouchables want with the ball in his hand, it's this guy, Will Ragland. And that's how you started off with the ace.
Couldn't have said that better and gotten a better result there, Ira. I think Ragland might have heard you over here from the sideline.
Saw Ragland in the elevator this morning. He was not in his full energy mode yet, hadn't had his coffee. Well, now, one ace looking for another. Having to run that one down was Serrano. And that finds the court. Big kill for Eduardo Hernandez, and the Blaze get the crucial side out. They lead 12-8.
Serrano, once again, been one of the best servers for Blaze traditionally. He loves his jump serve. If I'm the Blaze head coach, I want that coming out right now. Don't look for control with a 4-point lead. Generate some more pressure.
Serrano, that'll come over on one, and it is Negron, but he could not connect. Negron and Belvin were kind of pushing each other away. Both wanted to go up, and Negron got to get that one.
And it's tough because Belvin's a natural lefty, Negron's a righty, so there's sometimes a lack of communication about who's going to be the most advantageous swinger in that situation. obviously, didn't work out in their favor there.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's almost at the dinner table
Yeah.
where a righty's sitting next to a lefty. My
Yep.
son's a lefty. We have that problem all the time. Isaac Sageman will come in to serve here. 12-9, Chicago trails. Clips the tape. Negron is there. Down the line, dug up by Chicago by Sageman. Negron with the hands. And it's dug up by Pereshkovov. Chance for Chicago as Ragland swings away. Another big-time dig here for Sageman. And reach out and stuff someone. Carlos Negron in prime time.
Man, I felt blessed. We were sitting in front row seats to watch that entire play unravel in front of us, sitting over here on one side of the court. But the LA Blaze blocking discipline reigns supreme as they're able to push themselves to 13-9.
Well, Chicago's going to challenge this. Andrew Lee comes out with the green card, his only challenge of the fifth set if he's not successful. And this is crucial because if LA was into the net, which I think is what he is challenging, I didn't see it, but I think that's what he's challenging. Well, that would give Chicago a side out and a chance. If not, LA Blaze are going to have a chance to close this out.
There's a lot of discussion right now that Andrew Lee is using his timeout, or his challenge as a timeout, using this to slow the game down. He's looking for a net on that last play. Some confusion on the LA Blaze side, but this is one of those things that people use the challenge even when they don't have a timeout to slow things down.
So this will be a little bit more of a lengthy delay.
In order to prevent some of that attempted strategy, the team all must stay on the court, trying to prevent interaction with the coach, but still slowing the game down all the same.
Well, there's not as much interaction as if you powwow on the sideline, but still can communicate. It's a lot like they're in quarantine out there on the court. Noah Chess trying to gather some information as only he can, and I think he's coming back. He's got a wry smile on his face, so he knows something. What you got?
Well, this is their last challenge. He has lost the other two at this point, and they're challenging that 17. Belvin was in the net on that swing. Not a lot of confidence when he was making his case to the referee, but they are reviewing it regardless, and that's what they are, I'd say, hoping for, is that Belvin was in the net on that swing.
So this one is taking some time. Most of our challenges have been pretty concrete in the reviews.
To answer that question in the chat, or give a little bit of context, it's not the exact answer. That's not a stat that's really commonly kept, at least during matches. But kills on positive reception as a team from the LA Blaze right now is at a 66%. They've had 6 errors and 2 blocks against them. So on 58 total attempts, they are siding out at a 66% clip. That's about as good as you want to see. When you get a 70%, that tends to be your magical number. So they're doing a pretty good job thus far. I cannot break that down further for you for the actual middles, but to give you that stat, that is up through the first 4 sets.
I think either of us are smart enough to break that down by position, but that
Well,
number.
it's not an intelligence thing. It's just not gathered in verse.
Yeah, it's
in
also
data
not
model.
gathered, a little poking a little fun at ourselves, but at the same time, stats are pretty concrete, but there's even some data that you'd have to really sit down and dive play by play to be able to figure out. That's not compiled. This has taken a long time, Nick, but it's obviously the most important replay of the match so far. Actually, no, I take that back. I think the replay by Chicago late in that 4th set was the most crucial because it allowed the Untouchables to fuel that comeback.
In regards to something like this being allowed or not, you can't ever. The issue here is that you really can't dictate intention because you never know what's really being used as a menial challenge or not. And
Patrick Bradley comes over. Chicago loses the challenge. long looks on their face as the LA Blaze leading 13-9 now. And this will be a match that is going to last nearly 3 hours by the time we are done.
And it seems like the Untouchables lost the challenge, but they won out of their intention, and that was to slow this game down when it was getting out of reach for them.
Certainly the case. So our assessment was correct. Now, a quick reminder for everyone watching: this we are going to guarantee a 30-minute break between this match and the next one. So that will push our start time back for the next match.
Nice able to tool the block, so Chicago gets the side out on the kill from Austin Nice.
And right there, Coach Andrew Lee's going, you know what, that's exactly what I wanted. Slowed it down, get a more controlled serve, getting hit at us. We control that ball and put it away.
But no margin for error here for Moises Lopez to serve, the Oaklawn, Illinois native. Belvin swinging away, the lefty powers it through, and he just shrugs. Doesn't know his own strength. And LA Blaze with a chance to win. They had 3 match points that were unsuccessful in the 4th set. They have 4 match points to work with now at 14-10. Belvin comes out. Cuevas comes in. And Negron will serve to end this. Nice misses the court, and the LA Blaze survive in 5 sets. 15-10 here in the 5th, and they win our match today. Scores of 25-18, 22-25, 26-24, 32-34, and 15-10. A great match to open the year for the Chicago Untouchables, and for the LA Blaze. Yesterday they were outplayed badly by the Texas Tyrants, but they put yesterday in the past and came out today and played a very scrappy but successful style of volleyball.
That was a heck of a match that was really determined to go the distance, a Herculean effort by both of these teams. But LA Blaze proving to be the more veteran squad here today. It'll be curious that Chicago Untouchables had a match yesterday under their belt already. I'd be curious if that had an impact here today. But the fact of the matter, you got to play the cards that are dealt to you. And LA Blaze did that masterfully here in this marathon display.
Yeah, marathon for sure. Match that lasted 2 hours and 55 minutes, our longest match in 2 years that I've been around for sure.
Yep.
And of course we had a 34-32 set involved in there as well. We're going to extend it over to our sideline reporter Noah Chess, standing by with our most valuable, outstanding player today. And here he is.
My name's Noah.
Got you.
Belvin, great game.
Thank you so much.
Sets 4 and 5. You seem to come alive when it really wasn't going your way in those first 3 sets. How were you able to bounce back and take over this match?
Honestly, I was just trying to win. I was trying to do whatever it takes to get the win for our team. So I was trying to just play my hardest, play with a whole lot of effort, play with a whole lot of heart, and it just played in factor. So just kept playing hard.
We can see you play your hardest with emotion on your sleeve, and you really, really wanted this one. How were you and the team able to pull this out?
Just playing together, that's all it was. We were just playing simple and just playing together the whole time. And once we play together, everything just falls into place. So that's all we have to do.
Congrats, man. Great game. What a nail biter. What a finish. Guys, that was a great one. Maybe the match of the day, maybe the match of the weekend for sure.
Thank you, Noah, and thank you to our man of the match, Charles Belvin, who finished officially with a match-high 16 kills at 57%. 4 players for the Blaze reached double figures in kills. Negron, Lenore, and also was Rafa Cruz. For the Untouchables, they had 3 reach double figures, led by Raglan and Nice with 13 kills apiece. Nice came in that second set, so we did that in really 4 sets of play. It's a good effort for Chicago. Nothing for them to hang their heads on. They easily could have folded early, and they showed that they are going to be a fighting squad throughout the year. But for the LA Blaze, after that loss yesterday to Texas, they certainly needed this one. They didn't want to leave the first weekend of the year without a W.
Certainly the case if you're a Chicago Untouchables fan. Nothing to be sad about there. We saw what that team is going to showcase in the future. We're going to be right back in about 30 minutes. I know it extends the natural 6 o'clock schedule time. Start time will be 6:30 instead.
So it will be a 6:30 start for our final match of the day, and that will be in, again, of course, the newly branded Matadors against Southern Exposure in an American Coastal Division matchup. Our 8th of 12 matches this weekend for our entire crew. Noah Chess, our sideline reporter, and Nick England. I'm Ira Thor. Stay tuned in half an hour for our final match of the day.